in Kuwait City, pictures on social media show plumes of smoke billowing into the sky. Kuwait's National Petroleum Company said that some workers suffered smoke inhalation, but there were no reports of serious injuries. It said other operations at the refinery remained unaffected. Two men suspected of murdering a prominent crime reporter in the Netherlands are appearing in court in Amsterdam. Peter R. de Vries was shot dead in July after leaving a TV studio in the city centre. Anna Holligan reports.
Peter R. de Vries was shot 5 times at close range. Within an hour, 2 men had been arrested. A 21-year-old from Rotterdam, named only as Delano G under Dutch law, is alleged to have been the gunman. Kamil E., who's 35 and originally from Poland, is suspected of driving the getaway car. The prosecution will give an update on its investigation, and pre-trial detention is likely to be extended. The killing of the prominent investigative journalist shattered a nation battling a surge in violence linked to the global narcotics trade. The Emmy Award-winning reporter had been acting as an advisor to a key state witness in a major drugs trial.
Officials in northern Bangladesh say a mob has set fire to houses belonging to the minority Hindu community after a social media post that allegedly insulted Islam. They said dozens of homes had been gutted in the arson attack in the district of Rangpur. There have been days of communal violence targeting temples and businesses. Provisional results from Cape Verde indicate that the main opposition candidate, Jose Maria Neves, has won the first round of the presidential election. 7 candidates are bidding to replace President Jorge Carlos Fonseca, who is not allowed to serve more than 2 consecutive terms. BBC News.
Hello, I'm Tumi Morage, and this is the program that explores the world we live in through the work and the voices of artists. Welcome to the Cultural Frontline. This week, we're looking at writing from my country, South Africa, focusing on fiction, poetry, and language, reflecting its history, politics, social makeup, and identity. Coming up, Lebo Mashile, actress, writer, and poet, on how her poetry tackles the biggest issues in South Africa today.
Riots were the building up of a great deal of tension that has existed in South Africa. We have not managed to shed a lot of the baggage of apartheid.
And the
while the others keep on talking, we keep on rocking.
It's your man. Show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for who? For here, we they call them London. And I sabi you know, just have fun and stay blessed.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Listen to Reverend David Peterson.
Welcome to Led by the Spirit of myself, Reverend David Peterson, the youngest black Anglican priest in the UK to date. Come on, somebody. And the spiritual aide to the Prime Minister's advisor. Wow.
This and every Wednesday from 7:30 p.m. on the Led by the Spirit program on Starr Radio UK.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prum Prum Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Centre of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Port of Los Angeles to go 24/7. Will that make a difference in the short term?
You have to believe it will be, but I mean, I think there's still such a huge congestion. I mean, empty containers are sitting around the world. It's causing major bottlenecks everywhere. And as you know, we're moving in towards the Christmas period, so that's obviously going to increase even further. So I'm surprised that wasn't actually introduced even earlier, to tell the truth. Look, you can see yourself there.
James, you obviously own Corey Brothers, which is a logistics and marine service provider. I mean, you're right at the sharp end to that extent. I mean, it must be incredibly stressful for the guys working in that part of the business.
Yeah, I think, you know, Peter Wilson, I think, that spoke to you last week. They're flat out down in Felixstowe, and they're really feeling the crunch. And of course, they don't see any kind of ease up until probably, well, I guess Chinese New Year in February. That will filter in through until March. So we've got another good 6 months to go before we start seeing easing on the container side. And when you say it's mainly the containers, other markets as well, and the dry cargo bulk market is in a real, congestion situation as well. And we're seeing what the average person not hearing is the fact there's crew problems with ships, there are COVID cases, ships get quarantined, docks get quarantined. It all just gets knocked on all the way through. So I can't see a real let up for another 18 months probably with all this.
That's pretty depressing to hear that. I mean, freight rates have risen eightfold in terms of transporting a container from China to Europe over the last 12 months. What's your expectation over the next 12 months? Where do rates go from here?
Well, I mean, at the moment we're at a bit of an all-time high on some sectors, like, for example, in the container sector. And the reason why I just mentioned, prices are obviously, 6 times folding on some sectors of 10-year-old ships because the freight rates become so strong. And on the container side, some good news. There's some, 25% or thereabouts on the forward order book, and we're seeing the fleet that was aging. So that's obviously coming. So that will help down the line. At the same time, we're getting into this conversation continuously about renewable fuels in some format, changing of fuels, dual fuels. It's all changing. The whole system's changing. So there's so much to talk about in the shipping sector.
James, I've seen it suggested that there's a shortage of vessels being built as well over the last couple of years, and that has added to the problem. Is that actually the situation?
Yeah, we had back in 2000, 2006, 2008, obviously the boom, which obviously created an increase of yard space. So there's obviously an increase. Then what happened was, obviously the market came off and crashed. We saw a shrinkage of capacity. And so that's obviously, with that, obviously now it's more difficult. And we've seen so much movement now with steel price, oil and iron prices, there's knock-on effect onto the new building price. So everything's getting really affected by this last 18 months. So yeah, at the moment we're seeing a bit of an aging fleet because there wasn't so much investment when the market crashed. So now we're seeing it catching up to itself with the shortage of vessels in various markets.
Now, another part of your business is that you provide corporate finance advice to the maritime sector. What are the kind of things that you're picking up in that part of the operation?
Well, predominantly, the banks are slightly more reserved to where they were in those 2008. You could potentially get up to 90% loan to value on ships, and now it's harder to get more than 65% unless it comes along with a long-term charter. So the banks are obviously creating problems because obviously, putting more equity into vessels from ship owners' perspective becomes more difficult. But the whole market has changed a lot, and environmental issues and everything else is now so much more stricter with what's been happening over the last, I say, 20 years. In fact, the market's changed a lot.
All right, James, got to leave it there. Good to see you this morning. Thanks for joining me.
Very much. Appreciate it. Take care. Thanks a lot.
Now, before the pandemic, the hospitality company Sodexo was providing more than 1 million meals a day to the public and private sector, a vast operation which the company wants to make carbon neutral by 2025. Well, in order to achieve it, Sodexo has pledged to reduce food waste by 50% at all its client sites. Well, joining me now is Claire Atkins-Morris. She's Director of Corporate Responsibility at Sodexo UK and Ireland. Claire, very good morning to you. Is food waste, I presume that's the biggest source of carbon emissions in your business?
Well, firstly, morning, Ian. Thank you so much for having me. Well, in terms of food waste, and I think that stat that you said very much early on, around 1 million meals every day pre-pandemic, that just shows the context of the food services sector and other partners within this organisation. So in terms of food waste, it's a part of our emissions. So we know our carbon footprint and have done for a number of years now. And food waste is a part of it. There's a number of other elements within that, but food waste is certainly something that we really want to focus on right now.
And how do you tackle that? Is it a question of portion control, or is it a question of making tastier meals that people are less likely to leave bits of?
It's everything. So food waste is really quite complicated, and it's really disappointing that with COP26 coming up in November, food waste isn't on the agenda. Now, we recognise that decarbonisation, electric vehicles, green skills, nature are all really important, but we mustn't forget about food waste, and we need to continue to focus on it.
Now, you were originally targeting a 34% reduction in carbon emissions by 2025 from 2017 levels. You've already hit that. How did you do that?
I think, well, partly it was thanks to the pandemic, so a number of our offices haven't been open, but it's also that broader piece. So with the government really focusing on their 10-point plan, with the focus on being one of the greenest governments, they've really supported us by focusing on decarbonisation. So they've moved to renewable electricity, we've moved to renewable electricity, they've made it easier, and therefore we can set far more rigorous next steps because of that.
What about packaging, though? I assume that must be a massive issue, given that you're trying to produce a lot of meals very, very quickly. The food needs to be kept fresh and presumably at ambient temperatures a lot of the time.
In terms of packaging, yes, absolutely. Our first focus is around preventing it, but there is a need around food and health and safety. But there's lots of dynamic packaging coming through. So, for example, we've done a really big study on reusables, compostable packaging. So we would look at the food, how it needs to be served, how it needs to be used, and make a commitment that we were going to reduce our packaging by 50% by 2025.
And what are you seeing right now in terms of the return to work? Are you starting to see levels back to where they were pre-pandemic, or is this working from home phenomenon still impacting the business?
I think it's a real mix. I think, people are still nervous around the pandemic. We're starting to see a different way of working. So, for example, one of our workplace services, we call it Vital Spaces, is about creating an office where people feel safe and that people want to go back to the office. So food is one of those areas, so creating exciting food that people want to go back to, collaborate with their colleagues, their teammates, but also do it in a safe way.
And how are you coping with higher food price inflation? I mean, globally, food prices are up 40% year on year.
So we've got a fantastic supply management team. We work with our suppliers who have been fantastic, have kept us very well briefed. And like other companies, we have to understand the sort of challenges that are faced and keep our clients and ourselves abreast of what's going ahead.
So at the moment then, you're not seeing severe increases in food pricing that you're going to have to pass on to customers a little further down the line?
I think in terms of the important issues around this is that we need to look at food within, actually, if we reduce our food waste firstly, then that would reduce some of the food prices. So it all goes back to that food waste element. If we're managing and monitoring it better, then actually we don't need to bring in so much food. And as an example of this, so we had a site who installed a technology, which we have across a number of our sites, that reduces food waste by monitoring and measuring. And because they monitored and measured it, they segregated, they saw the amount of food waste they were producing. That meant that they could actually reduce the number of lorries that were coming into their site because they didn't need so much food because they were managing it better that way. So actually, whilst you're talking around food prices, we also need to think about resources, resource efficiency, because that will help us get through some of the challenges that we're facing through external factors.
All right, Claire Atkins-Morris, good to talk to you this morning. Thanks very much indeed for joining me.
Thanks, Ian.
Well, still to come here on Ian King Live. As the digital health market explodes post-pandemic, we'll hear from a company using technology to improve our wellness, nutrition and prevent health problems from home. Stay tuned.
I'm Siobhan Robbins, Sky's Southeast Asia correspondent in Bangkok.
Our job is to tell the truth. This is a forgotten front line. They are dying here. Here it comes. Cut.
Boy, have we got some interesting ways of showing you what's going on.
Their message to us, get ready.
Something like apocalypse.
Instructing you to stay at home.
I can't believe we did that. It's pretty special, isn't it?
Welcome back. Now, the pandemic has seen a big rise in the need for reliable health information at home. While the NHS website is a huge resource, many private companies are improving their offerings too. Lenovo is one, and it's just updated its app. Its co-founder, Arslan Karim, joins me now. Arslan, very good morning to you. Now, you launched this app 4 years ago. What improvements have you made to it?
First of all, good morning, everybody, and thank you for having us today. Well, KDI is a self-care search engine, just like Google, but focused only on those self-care conditions which you can manage at home. We have seen a huge growth in this space as people have been needing this information more and more in real time. And for that reason, we made an app which provides this information faster and smarter at your fingertips all the time.
And how many people do you have using it currently?
So the last version, we had tested it with 200,000 people. And the great news is 90% of the people who use the app said they would actually use the app again. They would recommend other people to use the app, and they really found it a benefit to manage their self-care health conditions.
And what are the specific things that they're looking for when they access it?
Imagine you have something like a self-care condition, such as tension headache. You will type this on the search engine, and the search engine in real time will give you some curated content written by a team of doctors and pharmacists based here in the UK. And importantly, it would recommend you a custom-fit product solution which can be delivered to your door within 24 hours if you are in the right postcode. This idea of having the information, the product, and the delivery all in one mobile application is very unique.
And how many doctors and healthcare professionals do you have supporting the app?
We have a team of 20 doctors and pharmacists who are working on the app, updating the content every day.
And who are you competing with?
Well, we think we're quite unique in that self-care space where we have a search engine. We don't think there's anybody else like us. There are, of course, other companies like Amazon who give you products, or Google who give you general search results in an open format. And you also have companies like Deliveroo who are delivering products now away from the food. But this idea of having all three in one mobile application, we're unique. If there's anybody else out there, we don't know about them just yet.
And how do you make money out of it?
Clinova is a very successful business. The company is growing at double-digit pace. And this is mainly due to the changes we're seeing in the digital space, especially in the healthcare world. Our results are very strong, and if they continue like this, we hope to be one of the leading companies in the world in the consumer self-care space.
It's quite interesting, though. I mean, as well as the app, you produce, for example, insect repellent patches and hydration tablets and digestive tablets, things like that. How does an app fit into that sort of broader strategy?
It's a really good question. We have this unique insight to consumers' needs when they're using our self-care search engine. And when we see a real gap in the marketplace, for example, we realize many Brits are always dehydrated or they're not actually fully hydrated. We realize that if we can actually provide them with a healthcare solution, we could then really fix that minor ailment. And we produce ORS hydration tablets. They have a lovely, delicious lemon, blackcurrant or strawberry flavor. You just pop 2 of these tablets in a glass of water and it's equivalent of drinking several glasses of water. And most Brits who use this then use this on a regular basis and always feel hydrated. You can buy these hydration tablets from Boots, Holland & Barrett, or even Amazon or our search engine, KDAR.
Now, you were selling respiratory masks during the pandemic. Are you still seeing a lot of demand in that area?
Yeah, I mean, 2007, we saw this idea of spreading flu by using a respirator product called CoverFlu. And this product really took off in the pandemic. We are still seeing actually really good sales of the product, especially in the United States, where they have strict policy of wearing a respirator or a kind of a higher proof mask, especially for those people who are more immunocompromised with the COVID infection.
Are you worried at all about this talk of windfall profits on businesses that did well out of the pandemic?
I think there's always a need to manage the healthcare space, and Clinova as a business has a unique understanding of that. I think if the government does make these measures, we are always providing our context and our support for them to make the right decision.
And what about an IPO? Is that something that might be imminent a little further down the line?
Ian, we're growing really fast. We're growing at unprecedented pace. And therefore, to make the business truly one of the leading self-care search engines in the world, we need to have an increased pool of capital. And therefore, we have all options on the table. And one of those options is potentially going public.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Any idea on when that might be?
It's just an option, and we will be updating the markets in the near future on the preferred way of growing the business.
Very good. Come back and talk to us when you're ready to do so. Arslan, good to talk to you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian, and thank you for having us again.
Still to come here on Ian King Live. As regulators look to clamp down on the buy now, pay later industry, we're joined by Klarna to hear how it's responding. Stay tuned.
Our cleaning essentials at a tidy price. Your home looking shipshape. There's an Ocado just for you.
Inspiring you to stay positive and strong throughout this period. Listen and tune in on every Thursday at 5 p.m. for an hour of power. Stay positive and love you all.
During the time of lockdown, we recognise that young people among us could be vulnerable and subject to abuse. This is why Amacares, an organisation that advocates against child sexual abuse, is here to assist the vulnerable amongst us. We have lined up an exciting and educative programs that can be of help to you. Please check out our website on www.amacares.org for updates of program. Enjoy a live chat with our team members for advice. Our online counsellors are also available to advise you and signpost you to the right governmental departments. You can reach us on 033 01 33 2415 or email us at info@amacares.org. Confidentiality is key. Thank you.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
I guess the biggest thing that's changed is if ever vegan felt like a niche and something that was small and nobody knew where it was going to go, the world is changing fast. And the biggest thing is that we are finding that there's a real surge towards more plant-based food. And so we're delighted to be trying our best to keep up with that and lead that.
I gather your existing investors participated in this funding round, but you also got a couple of interesting new investors as well from the world of sport.
Yeah, that's true. So we're delighted to have Draper Esprit, who are one of Europe's leading venture capital firms, coming on board for this round. They're a fantastic partner. But we also have a number of individuals. So yes, Chris Smalling and Kieran Gibbs, who obviously are both very into healthy eating and living. And they've been big fans of All Plants for a long time. So it's great to have them finally at the table with us.
Hopefully getting a few of their dressing room teammates into the action as well in due course. I mean, we last spoke, I think, in November 2019. How has the business traded through the pandemic?
Well, Ian, at the end of 2019, we just moved into our brand new kitchen, which is where I'm speaking to you from. And since then, we've increased the amount we cook by over 6 times. And we've really just been trying to keep pace with everything happening in the outer world. You know, we've hired around 100 new chefs onto the team, and importantly, and I guess this is the thing I get most excited about, we've had the opportunity to really expand what we do, and so adding new product categories from meals, which is where of course we started, and we turned that into something we're very expert at, into breakfast, pots, smoothies, Buddha bowls, and now, ready for Christmas, our big feasting platters to really make that Sunday roast or Christmas roast moment something delightful for the family.
So how many more customers have you put on during the last 12 months?
So the last 12 months has been really quite electric. We've attracted over 40,000 new, we call them tasters, all across the country, from Scotland to Cornwall and Wales, etc. But then, importantly, we ended last year at around 8-9 million, and we'll be clearing 20 million by the end of this year in terms of revenue. So the thing, of course, Ian, is that we're still at the very nascent and early stages of plant-based really coming into the mainstream. And what we're excited about is the way that over 2/3 of our customers today aren't vegan or veggie at all. They just enjoy eating delicious food that's good for you, but also helps you make your own individual contribution to the sustainability future that we all want to see. And I think with COP26 coming up, as you said, that chance for individuals to just make small changes is so important and something we all really aspire to.
And what's happened since the end of the lockdown restrictions? Have you noticed any changes in customer behaviour since then?
Customer behaviour side, it's actually been very stable, but we're certainly seeing a lot of the challenges that the food industry is facing into right now. Both on the kitchen side, we've been having to continuously rebuild our chef teams and ensure we've got that expertise where there's labour shortages across the industry. And then likewise, supply chain side and driver shortages, they're starting to have small impacts, but our team have been very thoughtful to plan ahead. So we're hoping that we'll be able to survive that, but you never know. There's all sorts of instability to face.
Well, quite. I mean, you said a moment ago that you'd hired 100 chefs. I mean, the chefs are supposed to be in very, very short supply right now.
Well, we're lucky that we've built our kitchen in London. London's one of the hearts of the culinary leadership in the world, and so there really is a pool of fantastic talent here, Ian, and we do our best to create an environment where chefs can come from all walks of life and bring their expertise and create fantastic food day in, day out here together.
And how are you managing costs right now? Clearly, there's a lot of inflation right across the supply chain. I imagine, for example, cardboard boxes are costing more than once they did.
That's certainly the case, but I suppose when you're a small and fast-growing venture, what you also have as a force kind of to counteract that is the increasing volumes and scale that you can apply to create economies on purchasing. So our procurement team are working very hard to ensure that we at least keep our costs stable. But what's most important to us is to keep delivering for our customers. So if that ends up being something that results in us having to accept inflations in costs, then we'll be doing that for our customers to make sure we deliver.
Okay, JP, got to leave it there. Good to talk to you again. Thanks for joining me.
Great to see you. Thanks, Ian.
Time now for a look at this morning's business pages, and the Financial Times splashes with a report that China tested a new hypersonic missile in August this year. It says the nuclear-capable missile circled the globe before speeding towards its target, demonstrating an advanced space capability that caught US intelligence by surprise. The paper also reports on its front page, fascinating story this, that 9 schools in North Ayrshire will today begin taking payments from children using facial recognition technology in the canteens as a way of speeding up queues. Times leads its business pages with a warning to Boris Johnson from Make UK, the manufacturer's body, not to treat business as the enemy within. It also reports that the restaurant operator D&D has warned of serious staff shortages, which it says are costing it 10% of its pre-pandemic revenues. Daily Telegraph, meanwhile, reports that Michael Gove, the Housing and Communities Secretary, is set to overturn the London Mayor Sadiq Khan's decision to block a new skyscraper in the city designed by Lord Norman Foster. But it leads its business pages with news that Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, is stepping up plans for an online sales tax. Well, joining me now to talk about some of these stories is the business commentator and former Chief Executive of Siemens UK, Jürgen Meyer. Jürgen, very good to see you again. This Make UK warning, I thought in the Times, was pretty strident.
It really was, wasn't it, Ian? And I mean, how sad, really, that we've got British manufacturers who have been holding up the British economy through these difficult times, feeling like they're being treated as the enemy. And in this time of multiple crises, of supply chain shortages, of labour shortages, of rising energy prices, it really is time to create a real partnership with government. And the issue is that we need to create a higher productivity economy, which means more investments, and that's what manufacturing does in spades. And indeed, there are brilliant programs that myself.
Wave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes.
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world in adjustment. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Body is your ma. Bekutu show them you got the coco set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We call them London.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
At home.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Monday's edition of the morning show. Today is the 18th day of October, the year 2021. Somebody say the year of our Lord. And I want to welcome you, each and every one of you, wherever you are across the globe. My apologies for the late start of the program. Yes, we were trying to fine-tune some things before we come on. But I hope you had a very nice weekend wherever you are. But let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good on to you wherever you might be on planet Earth and those of you on other planets. Hello. I am Archie. From now till 1 o'clock, I'm going to be your captain. But let me say good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, HRH Linda Pallien, Crejo D. Felix all the way in Aberdeen, massive good morning to you, to our listeners in Europe, those of you in Americas, those of you in Asia, Africa, Australia. I salute you all. Especially my listeners in Nigeria, Uganda, Voice of Tiso. I say massive good morning to you all, guys. Hope you all doing good. Okay, if you're the first time of tuning into this program on Monday, this is how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day. The weather forecast is going to follow suit, then the travel update as well. Move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds. That is Global Trotting. At 11 o'clock, we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. And then we'll move on from there to have a detailed look at some of the other stories making the rounds. At 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. Then at 12:45, we bring the first part of the program to a close and cross over to Cyprus, where we have our HRH Linda Pallien on Career 101. Then after that, at 1 o'clock, the countries are brought down for the end of the program. So in a gist, that is what is going to be happening today. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend and share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones. Let me once again say welcome to the show. Playing in the background at the moment, Diana Hamilton, You Watch Over Me. I pray, or it's my prayer this morning, that God will watch over you throughout this week. So whatever challenges or difficulties that you're going through, you'll be able to go through them or some way, somehow circumnavigate them. Once again, welcome. Yes, get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate. It could be bumpy, but you are short of one thing. Arriving at your destination in perfect peace. It's going to be a cool voyage. Welcome once again. Okay, let's crack on. Now, the quote for today says, your results in life reveal your input. Your results in life reveals your input. Your results in life reveals your input. So what are you sowing and what are you reaping? And you know that whatever result that you are getting is going to, reveal your input. It shows exactly what you have sown in the past. So once again, welcome. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones, even as I've said. Let's move on straight to the travel update. I'm going to mash it all up with the weather forecast as well. So don't you go away. So when it comes to the weather front, this is how it's going to be for you today. Those of you in London and the southeast of England, we're having this afternoon will turn cloudy and outbreaks of rain will move in from the west, which may be heavy and blustery at times. A very mild day. And this evening will remain quite cloudy and damp. Outbreaks of rain will continue into the night and cool, turn a little heavy in places. A very mild night expected as well. Temperature 17 degrees, otherwise 15 degrees. Sunset 18:02 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 07:29 hours. I'm moving on straight to the travel update as well. Good service throughout on the underground lines, apart from the Waterloo City line that have got planned closures. PLR, TFL Rail, the London Tram Link, or London Overground, good service there as well. Good service all over on the river bus. On the national rail, ScotRail has got special service South and special service Thameslink. Special service there as well. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm moving on to the final segment of the travel updates. The A316 have got closures, A4 closures, A41 closures, Central London Red Route closures, South Circular A205 closures there as well. That aside, all the others, no exceptional delays. But I don't know, let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the road.
This is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to what? 10:53 from the hearts of London. Okay, it's now time for Global Trotting. Wherever you are, Get yourself, get your lights, and let us do it. Now, we'll be having these discussions with Mr. Olayomi once he's on the People's Democratic Party. Sunday said the crisis in 20 state chapters of the All Progressive Congress, where parallel congresses were held on Saturday to elect state officers of the party. So we will bring you more details on that one. The Wall Street Journal has described how the Nigerian military paid cash to buy back an anti-aircraft gun that posed a threat to President Muhammadu Buhari, who flew through the endangered airspace. Okay, and the leader of Islamic movement of Nigeria, Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaky, has sued the Department of State, that's the DSS, and the Attorney General of the Federation to court over his prolonged detention. But we know that the DSS, they are a law to themselves. Do you think anything is going to come from there? Let's say good morning to Ozo Francis Omaganamani, and I hope you are doing very, very well as well. The amount budgeted for personal costs and has increased from 2.9 trillion naira spent in 2019 to 4.11 my apologies, trillion in the proposed 2022 budget, according to data obtained from the budget implementation report of the Federal Republic. Okay, so this is a lot more going to be coming your way during the course of the program. Wherever you are, don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, now let's move on to other parts of the world and look at what is happening. A very, very sad story that happened last Friday here in the UK. I remember after the program, go home, in the evening, I was like, did I chance on that information or something? I wasn't very sure of it, but hey, it did happen. Let me say good morning to Abraham Mawula. Abraham, I hope you are doing very, very well as well. Well, MPs open up about abuse and threats after Ames killings as they prepare to pay tribute to Sir David Ames in Parliament. MPs describe their own experiences. So what do you think? What do you think is going to happen on that front? Now, we'll be talking more about it. We'll be having a detailed discussion about that. Somebody who goes to have a surgery with its constituents. Now, do you think that maybe now we have to get security checks before people come in? And maybe something of the sort happens that will help a great deal. Or do you think we should just do it same old? But it is Starr Radio UK. That's some of the stories making the rounds there. It's at 11 o'clock. I'll be having Mr. Olayomi who will be joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. At least 26 killed in India. Floods, heavy rains caused rivers to overflow in Kerala, washing away homes and trapping people under debris. There are some of the stories making the rounds there. More stories coming your way. The Nigerians who want Israel to accept them as Jews. A small Nigerian community claims Jewish ancestry dating hundreds of years, but Israel does not recognize them. Oh my. Now, Egypt is to bar unvaccinated civil servants from work. It is something that's going to come. Well, the other story about it is that they said, well, if you've not vaccinated, you have to do a lateral flow test. And then if people are saying that, well, if you do that, then you will not be discriminated upon and you can come in. Why not? Pump and Color at Africa's biggest film festival, the FESPACO Festival, draws film fans from across the world to Burkina Faso. Those are some of the stories making the rounds there. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The former Cape Verdean Prime Minister Jose Maria leading in presidential elections. Cape Verde went to the polls over the weekend and he is leading in the presidential elections. This and a lot more going to be coming your way. Former Ivorian President Laurent Gbagbo elected leader of new party. Oh, okay. Is it going to be running? Or okay, we'll be looking into that story in more details during the course of the program. But some other stories making the rounds. Yes, bear with me. MPP regional organizer assaults Daily Guide journalists. Now, what is this about these MMDCs and DCEs and all this banter that is happening there, where they are unleashing soldiers or security people I mean, I ask myself, this is a party, this is just one party, and that is how. So when it comes to election 2024, what are we going to be seeing? Oh my, that'll be quite an interesting one. But it is all Starr Radio UK, where we're going to be bringing you more. A Japan deal bad for Ghanaian youth. That is what the former president Mahama is saying. What is your take on it? MPP must rule for 60 years. Really? All right then. There is a Ghanaian adage that says, the stew or the sauce that we prepare for people to eat with whatever dish, whether it's yam or whether rice or whatever, that determines whether those people those who have come to help you on your farm will do a good work. That is what Ghanaians say. But do you think the party is doing enough for people to say, oh yes, we want to keep you in power for what, 60 years? Really? All right then. Unless, of course, they're going to use all the measures when it comes to the electoral process. But, well, let me say good morning to my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, who is also pulling all the plots and everything for us this morning. So wherever you are, once again, welcome to the show. We take a quick break, we come back, and we'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining us. Don't you go away. Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes.
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hey, if you know God is a good God, come on. Everybody put your hands together. If you know He's been good, lift your hands and say, you were good, Lord, yeah. 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 Everybody say, Lord, Lord, I'm here to sing my praises for all you have done, and I will lift my voice to give you thanks and say you are God. Yeah. For your love and your grace, for your faithfulness each day. All honor, all glory to you. Yeah. I will lift up my voice, I'll stand tall and say that He's been so good to me.
This is Starr Radio. In your car, at home,
on your smartphone.
to turn it up.
The best radio show.
Just as we are, we have come to pour out our hearts in praise for the wonderful things you have done. For your love and your grace, for your faithfulness each day. All honor, all glory to you. I will lift up my voice, I'll stand tall and say that He's been so good. Take it outside. He's been so good to me. Ain't no
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Lift your voice one more time. Hey, no.
Well, God has been so good to me, and I know that He's been so good to you as well, wherever you are this morning. This wonderful Monday morning. Starr Radio UK. Playing in the background something from Joe Metal and the Better Revival Choir. Let me take this opportunity to say good morning to Olayomi Joe Taiwo. So you will be remembered for two things after you're gone: the problem you solved and the problem you created. So which one or where do you find yourself? Are you creating problems or are you helping to resolve problems or solve problems? That is a question that Olayomi Joe is also asking this morning. Olayomi Joe, good morning to you once again, and thank you very much for that input. We should be having Miss Olayomi Koiki joining us any moment from now. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, Abraham Mawula also posted a comment there. So for Biafra and Yoruba people to have better freedom, all these following group need to be dealt with: corrupt politicians, corrupt kings, corrupt journalists, corrupt religious leaders. If we refuse to deal with all these corrupt individuals, then we are. If we refuse to deal with all this corrupt group, our agitation is just a child's play. And that is quite an interesting one, comment or statement that he has made this morning. But wherever you are, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 11:11. That is 11 minutes after 11. And the long-awaited Mr. Olayomi Koiki, I told you he was on an errand. We were doing some investigative piece. He's still not finished with it, but he's here this morning to bring you updates from Nigeria. And let me say, Yomi, good morning to you.
Well, it is a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie, and I hope you can hear me loud and clear back in the studio.
Loud and clear, loud and clear. How are you?
Well, it's been a very long weekend. It's been a long week away from the platform that we bring the information out, and I can only say to our viewers and listeners from around the globe that we are back again. Yes, I've not been on the air for over a week now, with quite a lot of work behind the scene. I was also under the weather and so much work that we were doing at Starr Radio UK. But it's good to be back again. 18th of October 2021 is exactly 12 minutes past the hour, and I say good morning to all our viewers, our listeners from around the globe, and welcome to Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and for those that are watching us on all our platforms as well.
Yes. Lovely to have you back. Listeners, as I said he was working on some investigative piece. We don't want to bring you half-cooked food. So once everything is done and set, we will be bringing that your way for you to know. But let me say good morning to Oluremi Ogabi Kilanko. He says, good morning, Starr Radio UK viewers and the anchors. Yes. And thank you very much, Oluremi. I hope you are doing very, very, very well there as well. Yomi, interestingly, well, we have a budget that has been put across. I remember the other time asking some people about the details of the budget, and they were saying it was sketchy. Well, government was going to use the money from blah blah for blah blah blah. But we're looking at what? Let me call it 100% increase in that budget.
Well, you're quite right. The $35.66 billion budget, which is what a lot of our Nigerians have been following. Since the president came to discuss about that. So yes, you're quite right. We're looking at the Nigerian Parliament has now approved on Monday last week, the government 2021 budget of 13.6 trillion naira, which is equivalent to about $35 billion, assuming 3% annual economic growth. Oil prices, which is about $40 to a barrel, and about 1.86 million barrels a day of crude oil production. I mean, when you look at the budget like that, a lot of Nigerians will say, what has been the implication of, not having enough to go around 200 million Nigerians. Our dependence on crude oil has been part of the problem. The budget, which will take effect when the Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari signed it into law, though a date has not been set. As at then, the exchange rate is still fluctuating as well, but it is being benchmarked based on $40 per barrel. And sometimes, people like us, when we look back and ask, those questions when, we were having a huge amount of income from, the crude oil, you would have expected, something a little bit much better. But let me come back again to you in the studio, and then I'll be telling you what the Nigerians are saying, what the commentators are discussing, and as Nigerian budget for 2022 is low, the DG Budget Office, well, we're going to be discussing all that. The Director General of the Budget Office of the Federation, Ben Akabuzo, has said that the 2022 budget figure proposed by President Muhammadu Buhari is very, very low.
Well, some are saying it's high, some are saying it's low. What do you think if you are listening to us? Let me say good morning to Pastor Emmanuel Chidi Amayo Jiregene. Good morning to you. Nice to have you once again. Abraham Mawela says, Mr. Koyeki, thank you for your work in and may God Almighty continue to strengthen and bless you. Abraham, may God bless you too for joining us each time to listen to this program. Okay, so now let's go into some of the nitty-gritties when it comes to that budget.
Well, when we go into the nitty-gritty, the most important thing to an average Nigerian would be what benefits me from a budget. I remember when I was in secondary school and I was just completing it, and one of my uncles sat us down to tell us to give us to give him a kind of what a budget means. It means a lot of things to different people, but one thing is that 16.39 trillion budget to the joint section of the National Assembly. The figure is the highest in the country history and over 3 trillion more than the 2021 budget. But Buhari inched the increase on the need to give the INEC a sum of 100 billion for 2023 general election. That itself, is a lot at stake, because there's a lot of Nigerians and a lot of those that disagree with Nigeria in whatever capacity, whether it's a restructuring of a Nigeria, whether it is the self-determination, whether it is those that just believe that it's revolution now, giving 100 billion to the 2023 general election. Another 50 billion naira will be set aside for health workers, hazard allowance and other allocation to security agency, with total available revenue for the year to be estimated about 10.13 trillion. So the question then is, when we look at the 50 billion as an example, just after so many days away from working, the resident doctors have resumed back work. It's all based on the not getting enough being paid as well. But something we've got to also remember is the backdrop of the budget breakdown at the soaring state of the country debt profile. Our debt is increasing, and we are paying more money to some of those debts as well. Nigerians, after presentation, took to different social media platforms to condemn this figure. And Mr. Akabuzu, a leading person in the budget preparation, said the federal budget is so low compared to the country unmet needs. What are the needs of Nigerians this morning? An average Nigerian wants to make sure that their children have something to eat. They want to have the basic things of life. They want to make sure that, just like we had a presentation, on our platforms with all the media across, those, and this is again our own personal opinion, not literally the view of Starr Radio UK, which I am involved as somebody that believes that it's time to have a self-determination out of Nigeria. One of our media in Nigeria was giving us a background of buying a pure water. Pure water is this water put together in a plastic bag, because water is not running into the house like you can have it in your own house. So that means millions of Nigerians will just not have a potable drinking water. Not just that alone, they have to go all the way down to fetch water from the well to bring it back up to do some of the normal things that you could have done as well. So when we talk about the budget, it's also about having the implementation that an average diaspora that wants to go back home and set up a business, does not have the danger of insecurity. And I'm going to be discussing that because likewise, the UK government has also now announced about 12 more states that the diaspora going home should be careful of. So that means if I wanted to go and invest somewhere in Nigeria, I also have to start thinking about which state is safe to invest in. And all this is something that a budget could have been able to resolve. But because we are having a country where everything is coming from the top, is having a difficulty to break it down. I was watching the Vice President Summit that took place at Ekiti State. As an example, we had about a couple of governors were there. They went back on and on saying they have to tell the Vice President, even though he avoided it. He couldn't discuss it because it's part of the government. Some of the governors like Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the rest of them that were on the seat says without a police state, without having their own police in a state, the insecurity will be part of the problem. And this is part of why a lot of Nigerians says the 1999 Constitution, which is a military decree, is not working, and whatever budget we have for Nigerians is not going to go around.
Well, somebody will say money makes the world goes round. So some are of the view that this budget with the 1999 Constitution that is being used, they are of the view that it will not solve Nigeria's issues. What do you think if you are listening to us? Olayomi once again has joined in as well. Gina Latte, let me say good morning to you as well. Olayomi says, now are you creating problems or trying to solve problem in someone's life? Check yourself. Okay. Olayomi, thank you very much there. Now let's move on to some of the other stories that is making the rounds. APC Parallel Congress, Amazon Aregbesola Lai may lose out party to back governance. So what is that? Is it Lai Mohammed they are talking about? Who is going to lose out?
Well, as 2023. Let's look at our countdown. On our timeline on Starr Radio UK and tell people what the timeline is. As so many people are monitoring what is happening back home, especially those that wants to be involved in the politics today. 480 days, 13 hours, 38 minutes, and the seconds continue to drop down before the 2023 general election. Yes, some of the party have been having some of their congress that would then lead to who becomes the governors, who becomes whoever within the party to contest under the party. There was strong indication yesterday that in states where parallel congress were held, the All Progressive Congress, also the APC, would recognize only the executive council supported by the incumbent governors in the APC state. The reason why that particular state in Ogun State, as an example, and some other state outside, the southwest, a member of the party National Caucus who confide in one of the papers also said in the non-APC state, the party will recognize Congress endorsed by the highest political office in such state. It was gathered that parties, stand was anything to go by. Chieftains of the party, including a senator, a minister of interior, and the minister of information, might lose out in the power tussle. Let's go back to Ogun State as an example. Prior to the last election, the party had the support of a particular candidate, while the present governor then is now a senator, was not in support of what the party wanted. He was supporting somebody else, and this is about something that is playing out as well, in this party congress happening in most of the state. But according to what is being said, violence and protests rocked APC congress that were held across the country on Saturday, from faction emerging in Lagos State, in Ogun State, in Kwara, in Osun State, and even in Kano State. In Ogun State, a faction loyal to the former governor of the state, Senator Amosu, which held his congress at the palace of Alake of Egbaland, elected Chief Darren Adebiyi as the chairman, but the governor himself, who has the power, is the incumbent governor, held his congress at the MKO Abiola Stadium, where Chief Yemi Sanusi emerged as the chairman. You can see, as Fela will say, trouble they come, Yanga they do something.
Well, trouble they come and younger they do something. What is younger they do there? Well, it is Starr Radio UK. Ayo Labi, good morning to you, and thank you for the heart that you are sending to us. Prince Joseph OKG, good morning to you as well. Hope you are doing very, very well. But Amayo says we all would love to live a life of comfort, but a life of comfort is built through inconvenience. My Yoruba people, let's inconvenience ourselves now to live a comfortable life it means in the future. Mayo goes on, we all would love to. Okay, that's what I've read. And yes, so continue to share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones. Invite them to like our pages as well. It is Starr Radio UK. I have Miss Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in our South London studios. And we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. So we'll go back to Yomi for him to bring you the rest of the updates. Over to you, Yomi.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Archie, and we say thank you very much to those of you that have, stand by with Starr Radio UK all these days as we continue to take you through some of those headlines from not just Nigeria, from across, the continent. Let's go back to some of the other headlines that we have this morning. The news of, government paying the terrorists to buy back an anti-aircraft gun has been denied by the government, even though the news is already filtered through saying that the government paid back $50,000 to get back an anti-aircraft gun that was cut away. As we know, the terrorists has gone through most of the military barracks most of the time, and they were worried that could be used to take down the presidential jet. That has also been the news so far as well. Pandora Papers. EFCC opens a probe for the former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, and also Stella Odua, and the NPA boss that is coming from the headline this morning. Presidency fought ONU and NITR Council contest minister dissolution order. El Zaki, as we know, sues the Attorney General of the Federation and the DSS for 2 billion naira over detention of passport seizure. We know that he has been released, after so many days and months, in the captivity of the government, and the leader of the Islamic movement of Nigeria, Sheikh Ibrahim al-Zakizaki, has now sued the departmental of the DSS and the Attorney General of the Federation to court over his prolonged detention and the refusal of the government to release his passport in a fundamental human rights suit instituted by the Federal High Court in Abuja by his lawyer, Mr. Femi Falana. El Zakizaki is seeking 7 reliefs, including an order mandating the respondent to pay over to the applicant the sum of 2 billion naira. Also, as general and explanatory damages for violation of the applicant's right to freedom of movement, fair hearing, and property. We do know that his passport was seized in May 2019. According to the lawyer, is illegal, unconstitutional, and is violate his fundamental human right. Let's touch on some of the other headlines coming out of the country this morning. Once again, it is still your station, your favorite morning show, breakfast show. Court order immigration services to release ex-governor Odili's passport. And that is also coming from the headline as well. Who is he and why has his passport again been held? Just like we do know that when the 1st of July, the assassination attempt on the Chief Sunday Adeyemo house, his passport was also taken away. Until date, the government has still not yet released the 2 in the captivity of the DSS, which is Ifeoluwa Lady K, that has been charged for terrorism charges, and also Oladele, even though a court in Abuja have asked for their bail, which the lawyer are still trying to wonder why they're still being held. The Nigerian Immigration Services have seized Mr. Odili passport based on a request from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, which claimed he was on a watch list. The Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday has now ordered the Nigerian Immigration NIS to immediately release the international passport of the former Rivers State Governor Peter Odili. NIS operative had seized Mr. Odili's passport upon his arrival from a trip back in the United Kingdom June this year, 20th of June. Displeased with the seizure, Mr. Dele sued the NIS and its Controller General to retrieve his passport. In defense, they said Mr. Dele's passport was seized based on a request from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Let's touch on some of the other headlines as well, and then they come back again to you in the studio. It's exactly 11:29, the 18th of October 2021. In 2 days' time, it's going to be 1 year that the Nigerians were killed, or what we now know as the Lekki massacre. No one has been charged, nobody has been penalized for that, but rather over 300 Nigerians are still languishing in the Kirikiri prison in Lagos, and likewise about 9 of them in Oyo State and other states as well. So we hope that these individuals will be released just before the 1 year of these the killings that took place at the NSAS last year. Also, Sarah sues Buhari, wants court to declare plan to monitor WhatsApp as illegal. We do know that the government has also in the budget put some kind of amount of money to monitor some of these platform for a reason well known to the government, because according to the Nigerian government, I was on the conversation on Friday on a Clubhouse. Clubhouse, I'm sure those are knows is just another social media conversation, and the information that I was told to speak on was Nigerian clampdown, media clampdown in Nigeria, and so many conversation came out of it as well. Just like we've just mentioned right there, that Sarah sues President Muhammadu Buhari, wants the court to declare plan to monitor WhatsApp as illegal. The Social Economic Right and Accountability Project, also known as SERAP, has now filed a lawsuit against President Muhammadu Buhari, asking the court to declare illegal, unconstitutional, the plan by the administration to track, intercept, and monitor WhatsApp messages, phone calls, and text messages of Nigerians and other people, as it is severely threatens and violates the right of the preservation of privacy. The suit followed the proposal in the Supplementary Appropriation Act signed in July 2021 to spend 4.87 billion naira to monitor private calls and messages. The amount is part of the 895.8 billion supplementary budget approved by the National Assembly. So you can see, when we talk about the budget, a lot of Nigerians will be asking, why spend almost 5 billion naira to monitor my calls on WhatsApp or my messages? The government will say we have to do so for the protections of Nigerians, but a lot of Nigerians will then ask, just like I was discussing this morning before coming on the air, you talk about it, and we say RIP, to the late MP that was there for 32 years, but only to be killed by somebody known to the British government at age 25. He was also he was on that prevention program, which is being put together. About 6,000 people are on that prevention program, but yet he was still able to slip away, in the midst of the security, to commit that atrocity that end up the life of the member of parliament, on Friday. So my question is, when I go into the next headline, which I'm then going to come back to you in the studio, 13,000 Boko Haram have now surrendered. The question is, who monitors them when they are finally left alone back into the society? Out of that 13,000, about 3,800 or thereabout are men, about 3,000 are women, and about 6,000 of them are children. The question is Nigeria going to be safe with the surrender of this Boko Haram back into the society? It is Starr Radio UK 11:33. I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi is bringing you updates from Nigeria. Interesting stories that he's touched on this morning. But first of all, let's look at this El Zakizaki's suit of the DSS, and as to whether we think, looking at what happened to Sunday Igboho's case, where the court ruled that he needs to be compensated, for the destruction to his house and his property, let me put it that way. as to whether the DSS has done that already or are still going to go to the courts and pull the case. I think they were embarking on that. So taking that as a yardstick, do you think El Zakizaki is going to get anything from this, the step that he's taking to go to the courts?
And that makes me, when I was watching, one of, fella, grandson show that was speaking to one of the media in Nigeria, on the situation, especially the election. It did talked about similar to what you just asked now, that it's like trying to, he said, somebody, the government trying to get 20 billion from the government is that the government is going to strangle you more. So yes, the government might be asked to pay or to release certain information, especially somebody like Chief Sunday Igboho, that was his house was raided without any such warrant. 2 individuals were killed. As we speak right now, the bodies have not been returned. Yes, he has won the case in the court in your state, but you're talking more about the El Zakizaki. Yes, 2 billion is what the senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has put together for what we call the applicant right, damage for violation of the applicant's right to freedom of movement, fair hearing. My question is, we have a government that is still operating as if we're still in the military era. This government does not understand what is democracy. This government does not understand that era of when military were coming in, a lot of Nigerians were scared of them, and we were scared of them as at the time, because I was in Nigeria, in some of those period of time when we had the military era, and they were controlling. We had the military administrator rather than what we have now, that is the governor. And if the present system does not understand that, you must understand, and this again is going to be a test of time. In 3 days' time, Abuja will become another point to focus on whether they will bring in Nnamdi Kanu to court after his rendition and kidnap from Kenya. So we have a government of the same government that was there, but in a military dictator era. I'm talking about President Muhammadu Buhari, that overthrown a civilian government, then still thinking that he's operating on a military dictator, and that means media can be gagged, citizens will not be given that freedom of leverage, freedom to discourse, freedom to protest, which is still under that fraudulent constitution. Again, on Wednesday, we will see what is going to happen, because a lot of Nigerians are saying they want to come back out, to protest against what they never finished on Wednesday. But again, all this is not allowed in Nigeria today, based on the mentality that they think that we are still in that military era.
Well, we call it democracy, but some say it is democracy when it comes to the African continent. Now let's quickly have a look at this monitoring of WhatsApp. Now, is government and the budget allocation that has been made for it? My question is government doing that for security reason? I mean, I know that's what it would say, for security reasons, so that if there are exchanges in with information, they'll be able to clamp on it before something bad happens. Or are they just using it against people who are criticizing them? That means clamping down on freedom of speech. What is exactly going to be happening on that?
Well, you're quite right. The government will defend that to say, and this was a supplementary budget that that amount of money was allocated. We're talking about almost 5 billion naira to spend to monitor private calls and messages. The question is, according to Sarah, the Buhari administration has legal obligation to protect Nigerians and other people against arbitrary interference and violations of their human rights. Monitoring of WhatsApp message, phone calls, and text messages will grant free rein to government agency to conduct mass surveillance of communications of people. Let me give you what happened on the highway in Kogi, where this video is already trending, even though the Inspector General of Police have apprehended these 4 officers, and that's the beauty of the new media that we have. If this was happening about 10 years ago or some 15 years ago, so many of these atrocities, so many Nigerians have been killed on most of the highway, dumped into the forest, and the police officer moves on. But because somebody was able to be smart enough to upload quickly a 30 seconds video of how a uniformed man that has already harassed the passenger, extorted the innocent Nigerian of money that had to be taken from a bank, that he had to request somebody to send the money to him. He was also slapped. Then imagine about 3 weeks ago when I got a call from one of the university, which we're not going to name, that some of the students woke up to find a lot of officers, and this coming in and out all the time, and they were there checking their mobile phones. And if you have any BT coin, Twitter, you end up paying 50,000 naira. So now imagine if we are talking about a government now that still wants to go into the privacy of Nigerians on their WhatsApp phone calls. Yes, it is the duty of a government to protect the citizen, but that does not mean that freedom of those citizens must also be entrapped. My question is, a lot of Nigerians that have been kidnapped, somebody is making a phone call from that forest back to their families, and ransom are being paid. How come those individuals are not being traced when Nigerians go to the police station and report it? Because nothing is done as well. So Sarah is also arguing the mere threat of mass surveillance, even when secret, coupled with the lack of remedy, can constitute an interference with the human right, including the right to privacy, freedom of expression, peaceful assembly, and association.
Well, if you are listening to us, do you think this clamping down or this monitoring of WhatsApp is going to be an entrapment and infringing on the human rights of Nigerian citizens? We'll be looking into that during the course of the weeks and the days to come. Amaya Jigne says Africa's democracy is demonstration of crazy. And he sums it up nicely. So that kind of democracy that we say we are practicing is craziness there. Okay, let's go to Yomi for some of the final stories that are there and what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, I'm just going to take us straight to the social media. Is exactly 11:41. Like I said, 2 days from now, so many Nigerians will be coming back to discuss what happened at what is also trending as number 3 this morning, hashtag Occupy Lekki Tollgate. Could that be that the next Lekki protest will be coming back on again? I'm saying quite a lot. Let's look at some of what is people are saying on the social media this morning. According to @JDeDupe, this government will rather threaten its citizens for asking for a better government than creating solutions, but we won't let them silence us. We will be out for the memorial at Lekki Tollgate on Wednesday, 20th of October 2021, our lost heroes. I would play maybe tomorrow one of the audio of the DJ Switch that spoke rather in Oslo, where she's being kept in a safe location because the Nigerian government is after her life. And this is part of why a lot of them, she was part of those individuals that were on the ground on the day of the NSAS massacre, but because she was recording on her Instagram and that was being beamed across the globe, she has now become a threat to the Nigerian government, and she can only get a safe haven now in Canada, where she is presently. She spoke, but we will try and play that because of time constraint this morning, tomorrow when we come back on. But again, a lot of posters is coming up out there on the social media, getting people ready for the Lekki massacre. Also, like I did talked about it, according to Victoria, we'll see if we can get this video again tomorrow. I'll send it in advance so that we can show how this officer kept on slapping this individual that I talked about. This happened in Kogi. Nigerian police force harassing innocent citizen on this road. This is more reason we all need to come out and hashtag Occupy Lekki Tollgate. So it seems nothing has changed since last year, and over 300, like I did talked about it, are still in the Kirikiri prison, when we have 13,000 Boko Haram that have been surrendered, been pampered, over 300 illegally detained citizens in Kirikiri because of hashtag NSAS. Protest must be released all protesters, I think is what I wanted to say on that flyer, must be released unconditionally. It's quite shameful that people that want better opportunity just demanding the right, and then they've now spent almost a year with adding criminal in the prison. So that is going to be for me on this social media. But like I said, it seems Wednesday, and also here in UK, they'll be holding a night vigil at the Nigerian High Commission as usual at 6 p.m. and start in the UK because our Niger Voices we might be transmitting from there on Wednesday.
Wow. Listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, bringing you updates from Nigeria. But before we go, when you are talking about the NSAS, the Occupy Lekki toll gate, I was asking myself, with the brutalization by the security agencies or by the police, does it mean that the SARS, do we manage to end the SARS, or we cause the SARS to metamorphose to some unruly security agencies who keep on beating citizens or molesting citizens? Now, do you think that Nigerians are aware of their rights as individuals or as citizens when they come into contact with the police? Or everything is shrouded in some secrecy and people don't know, and therefore anytime a policeman is doing anything, they can just do that and go scot-free?
Well, a lot of Nigerians, we won't say does not know their right, but their right has always been abused. And if you walk into a police station with whatever allegation or whatever you are presenting to them, you could end up taking some extra bags of what you are not expecting. So a lot of Nigerians have tried now to solve problems away from some of this security that is meant to be protecting the citizens. So just like we have the opportunity here to report a lot of crimes that sometimes the question is do they know their right? Like I said, their right have already been ampled. And when people that saw what happened at Lekki massacre, when Nigerians were singing the national anthem, they had the Nigerian flag, and yet they were still attacked by Nigerians. The question then is, they were saying in Yoruba, if you don't have a mother, if you don't have anybody, don't have a back wound, because there will not be anybody to scratch it for you. And a lot of parents have always said, just avoid those troubles. But again, when those that is meant to be speaking on behalf of these Nigerians are also keeping quiet. And who are these individuals? Some of our politicians, the senators, the House of Rep that are being voted for. We're talking about a member of parliament that was serving for 32 good years because he was loved by the people and he was put back by the people. But it is always the other way around in Nigeria. Like somebody that made a call during my morning broadcast this morning, say, when we're discussing the terrorists in Nigeria, he says, those that we are calling the terrorists, for him, are the politicians.
Well, are the terrorists the politicians? That is a question that everybody might be thinking of now. But this is where we bring the updates from Nigeria to a close. But before Yomi goes, Yomi, your last words.
Well, it is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Don't touch the dial. You still have Archie and Frank might be joining later on. And we have all of our other presenters that will be coming on board. But for me, I'll be back again same time tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Don't touch the dial.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. And let me say, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 10:48 the time. And before we're going to take a break, and I'll bring you some lovely tune. But before we take the break, Mulikat Abdul Ghaffar. That love. Yeah. We love you to bits as well. And thank you very much for sharing with us as well. Okay. We take this tune from the one and only Raskimono.
Yeah, man. I hope you compare. Listen to this rhythm. I've not seen all of one in Africa. feel we belly. No money in our pocket, no bed, feel we hate. The people, they must suffer in a ghetto, in a city, everywhere that me go, me see them. Some are cry, some are die, some are weeping, some are wailing, everywhere that me go. Under pressure we well, under pressure everybody under pressure black and white, under pressure Europeans, under pressure. Can't get no food if you go feel we belly. Feel it you too, no have no mother. Feel it you too, no have no father. Feel it you too, no have no brother. Feel it you too, no have no sister. I'm a kimono, me just chatting to you. Chatter this I want me, go chat it all day. Hey, under pressure we well, under pressure Europeans, under pressure Africans, under pressure Nigerians, under pressure.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactement moi. My French has come 11:53 from the hearts of London. That means 7 minutes to 12. And I'm not here by myself. I've been joined by Mr. Frank Davids in the house. And let me say, Frank, good morning to you.
Archie, good morning, and good morning to our listeners, our viewers. We welcome them once again to, I know they've been welcome already, but hey.
Double welcome.
This double portion.
How was your weekend?
Was good. The weekend was good.
Great, yeah. great. Okay, I mean, we left here last Friday after the show, and then later on news started trickling in pertaining to the murder of an MP, and I was actually shocked.
Yeah.
I saw the what do we call it, the story brewing, but I saw the picture and I was like, no, I know this MP, I know him, because he's quite popular. He's quite, his agenda to turn that part of the country to a city. So I was like, I know him, but it's a very sad situation that has happened. The death of the MP brings it all back, says Joe Cox's family. It brings me to the question that is I'm talking about David Ames.
It
brings me to the question as whether now when people when MPs are having surgeries, okay, should they have security there so that when people are coming into, because normally they'll come to maybe like they were holding this in the church premises, so to come into the hall before you are ushered in to see the MP, maybe they should check them before they come in.
Archie, thank you, but I hold a bit of a contrary view to what the media has put out there. And I also hold a bit of contrary view to the assertion that is another Joe cause that has taken place. The information coming from the police, as we have it, is that they are treating this issue as a terrorist act. That
elevates the crime or elevate what has happened beyond what happened to Joe Cox, where we know that one of her own constituents for views that she held that are different from his
what the person
anger, as a direct result of that, was murdered in cold blood. Now, when the police says they've elevated this murderous act to the status of terrorism, what do they actually mean? Are they referring to the issue where we're not talking about an Islamic militant or so? Because that is what is linked to terrorism. Because if we take the two things, someone has been murdered. Unfortunately enough, he shouldn't be suffering this doing his job. But someone has been murdered. We know of accounts where Parliament has come under attack. People trying to drive into Parliament. Terrorists trying to drive into that. Is it a strategy now that to target them where they are more vulnerable? Which they might not have anything similar to what killed or what led to the killing of Joe Cox. Because if we treating as terrorism, is it his support for war in Iraq? Is it British own stance on what they call it, dealing with this Iraq and other things war that has left there? Because if we're going to treat it as terrorism, then we're taking it from a different angle. Because they are telling us that it's a terrorism act. Someone has been stabbed. Why do you treat one knife stabbing or killing as terrorism and another one not terrorism? That is what they need to tell us. What makes it a terrorism act? Is it a motive? Is it the person be an Islam? An Islamic
religious affiliation?
The religious that makes it. If it is religious, then it's gonna be looked at differently from what happened to Joe Cox. All right, which again means that all of us are vulnerable and can be attacked by terrorists. Right? That is, I mean, terrorists do not discriminate. They target the West Archie. When the bombs went out, when the tubes and the buses were bombed, they were not only targeting Caucasians, but they were targeting everyone. When it went, what happened in Manchester, unfortunately, the same thing happened. When buses were driven to a car was driven to people on London Bridge. I mean, it was not targeting only an MP, but this one we see an MP being targeted. Now, if they are telling us it's a terrorism act, what are the motives, the likely motives? Because if you are going to link the act to terrorism and just because the person is an Islamic person, is a Muslim, then you cannot ascribe or you cannot be telling us that it is similar to what has happened to Joe Cox. Or if not, then we're gonna start asking the question: does MP's life matter more than any other ordinary lives? So if a terrorist has gone to kill a fishmonger,
will we say that now every citizen should get a police security protection?
That is, if they are telling us that it is not terrorism, he's been attacked as a direct result of just being an MP and doing his job and by constituent similar to them, I will go with the line of security and other things. But they've taken it out of that context according to the police. Because once unless they are telling that, okay, and they've not provided any difference.
They haven't. All that they're saying, the early investigation revealed a potential motivation linked to Islamic extremism.
Okay, if that is the case, that means the security issue about the constituency and other thing, and the link being to Joe Cox, doesn't come in at all. Unless they are telling us that an MP has been killed, another MP has been killed.
I mean, Joe Cox was she also having a surgery? And then this person went there.
She went to a constituency. She went to a constituency, but that was not looked at as a terrorism act, unless they want to call it domestic terrorism.
I've forgotten what charges was leveled against that.
Domestic terrorism, which in this case the Islamic State angle should not come in, or the Muslim angle. Are we going to treat every knife attack as terrorism? Is that what we're going to do? If we're not going to do it, then this person, why are they actually zeroing this down to possible terrorism is if they call the person they arrested bears an Islamic name. Okay, if I live in an area with an Islamic name and I happen or someone happened to have attacked an MP, stabbed them to death, assuming this person did not bear Islamic name and might have the same motive as the person who killed Joe Cobbs, would they call it a terrorism act, or the name alone is enough to say, I mean,
if you're not Frank and you are Muhammad Abdullah is straight.
The other thing that we over here is that we understand that this person was referred to prevent art.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately he close to us, Credding. That's where he grew up. Okay. I mean that basically referred to the prevent art, prevent the scheme.
Yeah.
That he's been radicalized.
Yeah.
Is that what we are seeing? Actually, is a whole, for me. It's not just as straightforward as it's been said. The moment they brought in that terrorism act, then for me we need to start going further. What makes it qualify to be terrorism? Why do you call one terrorism? There are two incidents, two motives, two different knife attacks. Joe Cobbs was killed. This person was killed. Or to knife attack and something. One is terrorism. One is not terrorism.
Okay.
Why?
Not to cut you. Far right terrorists. That's how they labeled the killer of Joe Cox.
Okay, so
far right. So they charge him also with terrorism.
Okay,
yeah.
Now this one they are saying Islamic terrorism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Wow. But it's a sad one. It's a sad one. Now, so let's put in that one aside. Do you think that we should now, like I was asking, when people are coming in, will it be okay if you're at the door, you are checked before you come in? Because we know some people come in and they have mental ailment and might behave anything.
It should be okay, but you see, I mean, the angle of tourism side for me is very complex to me, because if you look at the Joe Cobbs case, it all revolved around this Brexit argument where people thought that he was so strong about remain. Now with this man, I mean,
he's not. He comes across. Doesn't even the level people like him.
So at the end of the day, what will be the motive?
Yeah, which the police has not actually come
it's a bit of complex. If he holds a control view, or if it's an attack on the government or the legislature, you support it. Because once they come to Islamic terrorism, you're looking at their foreign policy.
Yeah.
That you're looking at foreign policy that is at the center of it.
Yeah.
It's an ideology that is opposed directly to the foreign policy of the Western countries. That's what we're looking at over here. If you look at the Joe Cobbs case, it's an internal, arguments between far right and the descent.
Yeah.
So the two, deaths, two MPs, stabbing, similar acts committed, but the reason the police are giving, for me, we need to know more to be able to see whether we should go the line of security and other things. Because if it's terrorism, then we are at risk, which we are at any point in time.
Any point in time. But I want to tell you, when you're going to the Houses of Parliament and when you have events there and we go there, you see that there is security checks that has
very much so,
because you don't want somebody to come in who is being angered by something, a policy or something, and they just go stabbing or causing mayhem. So some will say, well, if you are giving it to them there, then give it to them when they go to their consequences.
Honestly, I think they deserve security. That's I'm not ruling out that. I think that they deserve security by the very fact that the jobs that they do will anger people. They take decision, they vote for bill that a lot of people might not side with them. I do agree with that. That at least they should provide these surgeries in an environment where there's a bodyguard or something like that. There's a security from armed police officer or something within the area. If it's going to be that, probably for one, if you take, let's say, London for let's take Lambert for Croydon for instance. If the MP is going to provide surgery over there, the police within this area should be able to provide something. So I will agree fully with that, but my issue about being labeled terrorism is why we need to look at the motive behind, if anything at all.
Hopefully over the days I will know more about that incident. But a man has been arrested in connection with the death threat being sent to Labour's Rwanda MP Chris Bryant. Now, South Wales police said a 76-year-old from Pontissima, Bridgend County, was arrested on suspicion of malicious communication. Officers were called at about 16:30 BST on the 16th of October after reports of malicious communications being sent. Mr. Bryant said he got a death threat after calling for people to be kinder following Sir David Amess's death. Now, he said he faced abuse every year. He said he faced abuse every year and has been an MP, adding the year before it was anti-vaxxers who were abusing him. The year before he had Brexit campaigners blastering word traitor all over his office. So that seems to be what is going on. It's a difficult work. It's a difficult job. So I think that the necessary protection that they need so that they can go about those duties.
That one,
should be given on to them.
No doubt. They need protection, no doubt.
Okay. Listeners, it is Star Radio UK. 6 minutes past the top of the hour. Let me open the lines. So if you are listening to us, maybe you want to pay homage to Sir David Ames. You can call in and do so. Or maybe you think that whatever they are doing is over the top. Feel free to do so as well. It's Star Radio UK. The number is 0208-133-2257 or 58. 0208-133-2257 or 58. And those of you are in the US, Canada, or the Caribbean area, it's 001-7183-303-2737. 001-7183-303-2737. You can text. You can WhatsApp me as well. It is 075-3966-1744. 075-3966-1744. Our Twitter handle is a Star Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. Once again, welcome to the show. This afternoon, exactly at 5 o'clock, the On Point Show will be coming your way again with Regina and Nima. She'll be bringing you On Point. And then there's going to be some music interlude there as well. Then after that, we'll be bringing you the Conscious Reggae Time with Mr. Dave West. So make a date with them on that. But this afternoon, just after the program, there's going to be lots mixed grill of music coming your way. But remember, at 12:45 exactly, we should be having HRH Linda Pallien all the way from Cyprus, bringing you Career 101. It is Star Radio UK. It is the Monday edition of the morning show. As you know, with me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis, I'm Archie, and we move on to other parts of the world to look at some of the other stories making their rounds. China has denied testing rare hypersonic missile. And it's quite interesting. The report in the Financial Times newspaper reportedly caught the U.S. intelligence by surprise. I remember the other time when we were discussing this issue, we had Felix saying that, kingdoms have come, kingdoms have fallen, and now it seems that the whole trend is, there's a shift in the power dynamics, and therefore it looks like the Chinese are becoming more, financially stronger, and when it comes to weaponry, they are becoming stronger there as well. But the West are thinking, whoa, we didn't know about this. Were they expecting to be told that the Chinese have developed something of the sort? And they tell people what they are developing in their labs?
Actually, it's a very complex situation. What we are being told is that in what they call a nuclear weapon, hypersonic missile that flew around the Earth before actually speeding towards this target. The question here is it's a bit complex situation for me. Because at the end of the day, why were they testing it? Were they testing it to show that, look, if they did, because China has denied it. China is saying that what they tested was a facility that will help go to space and come back, a reusable space vehicle. But as to why it has to fly around the Earth at that speed before going, I don't know whether we're trying to demonstrate that, look, we have a weapon that can even blast wherever on Earth, wherever we want. The technology, according to the demonstrate advanced capability, showing China progressing in hypersonic weaponry. Well, U.S. and I agree with what Felix said the other time. Kingdoms have come. They've got the Sunga Empire.
Yeah.
They are not there.
Yeah.
What do you call it? The Romans.
We have the
Greeks.
The Romans, the Egyptians.
Even Britain.
Yeah.
You know,
Germany.
Britain is one country that colonized almost every
part of the world.
Every part of the world.
Yeah.
The only country that succeeded in colonizing Britain successful was the Romans.
Yeah.
The Romans.
Yeah.
They succeeded in subduing them for quite some time. But these people bounced back and decided to take revenge across the globe. Actually, powers will change hands. So far, we know China is becoming unstoppable. And China joins the US and what do you call it? Yeah, the US is, basically condemning it. They are not the only people with this weapon. US has it.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Russians also have it. Who have this hypersonic capabilities.
Yeah.
Even if what they call it, tornado flies, the sound itself, the boom, the sonic boom that comes from some of those jets, and talking about this. Actually, for us, the flies who are actually observing what is happening at the other end, it doesn't concern us too much.
Whatever happens, if they will kill us, so we are ready for them.
Whatever happens, it doesn't concern us. Two elephants are fighting. Actually, with the grass,
we are ready to suffer.
What are we? But again, they should demonstrate that science is moving. Science is moving at a very, very, very fast pace, and we are told that this weapon flew 5 times the speed of sound.
Yeah,
5 times the speed of sound, and they, probably even this is what do you call it? The smallest amount what they've tested. And you know, this is coming just at the back of noises that North Korea is also testing weapons aggressively. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
You know, US went and signed a military pact between US, Russia, and US, Australia
and the UK.
Did they expect people not to be acting fast, to be basically lacing their boots in preparedness for their agreements? It's going to be difficult to see how students who have learnt a lot and continue to experiment in Chinese lab are stopped from developing toys that will put fear in
their enemies. well, listeners, interesting. What is your take on that? You can share with us. It is Starr Radio UK. Now, when it comes to this power problem that we're talking about, gas, and therefore it affects what do you call it? That's energy problem that affects electricity and affect any form of energy at all, apart from solar. And or the wind, what do you call it? The wind energy.
Windmills.
Windmills. Yeah. Okay. We are on the windmill road, so I was trying to be sure. But we are on windmill road, but we are not using wind energy though. Now, interestingly, China is suffering as well. I mean, the economy is slowing down because of this energy issue. Now, Saturday or yesterday. I was watching Andrew Mar's show in the morning, and he was having an interview with the Russian ambassador to the UK, and it was of the view. I mean, they were virtually the way Andrew was going about it. It was like saying to the Russians, can't you see that people in the UK are suffering or will suffer with these high rises in gas or energy prices? And they were saying that, well, if they see that people are suffering, they might do something about it. Now, so you see that some people are either holding back this energy or that everybody will need for things to take around nicely. Then I saw that look, the Russians have become now very strong because the whole of Europe, they are the ones they supply majority of the energy to us. Now, is it about time that we stop all these Chinese flying missiles around and all this and have a makeable? Listen,
UK is flying the flag of being the darling of the world for doing a lot to combat climate change. and therefore they do not want to take the flag for pollution, a mixture of gas and other things that might be coming out of fracking and other things.
Yeah.
So when it comes to environmental concern, you condemn Russia, but when it comes to increment in price of this thing, you again telling them that you are relying on them. Actually, but you see, sometimes the hypocrisy that we demonstrate in the West is a bit of boggling. Resources are not become. Everyone must mine and must utilize the resources that they have. One effective weapon the UK has had and used over time is this branding, this marketing strategy to paint the UK's universities, the UK as a country that is next to the Garden of Eden. May I submit, Archie, humbly that, look, what Russia might be doing to Europe and the UK in particular through these gas, Africans have suffered it long enough in the hands and continue to suffer in the hands of the the UK. Archie, if Andrima or seems to be suggesting that the UK and all of us are going to suffer, and we are already suffering. If that is his suggestion, may I put to him, and may I submit to him that a poor person in Ghana, a poor person in Nigeria, whose son has done something good, has gained admission to invest in this country, and you are charging the person an astonished visa fees and health, what they call it, facility user fees, that is more than the gas price you are charging. So what Russia is doing, the UK has had its opportunity, and they continue to do it on a daily basis to thousands of people from developing countries. How much do we pay in visa fees? How many hours does it take to adjudicate or to be able to assess a visa application? Today, to apply for a student visa for a year, you need to be paying almost 800 in health surcharge. To make an application for a visa, you're looking at £1,005 around that. Come on, what for? For someone to assess whether you are qualified. Not that you are not coming to pay your school fees. You are paying your school fees. And
it's not for free.
They even still treat you as a criminal.
You
have to prove that you are not a criminal. At the end of the day, once you submit your application, the default position and your decision is that you are a liar, you are a criminal, and you cannot prove to us that you have no crime on your hands or you have no blood on your hands. So in my view, Russia they take more students from Russia. Okay, so you're taking that economy, you're taking that money, you to funnel some of that through gas.
Okay, listen to Starr Radio UK. 80 minutes past 12 the time. We've got Felix all the way from Aberdeen. Felix, let me say good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you guys. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing well. How was your weekend?
I don't do weekends. I don't do anything. I just I don't know. I don't do that kind of stuff. How was your weekend, to be honest?
Were you busy or were you cool? Were you?
I'm always busy. I always have something going. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's good. He's a busy man. All right. Yes. What do you want to say this afternoon, sir?
Look, this issue about gas prices going up during winter, this is nothing new. I mean, Europeans should know this, that during winter, they use more energy. They should know this. It's not a big deal. The problem that they have, I mean, sometimes it's difficult to understand the people who run this country, particularly this generation of leaders they have. They have imposed so many sanctions on countries that produce these things. You have imposed sanctions on Venezuela. In fact, in the case of Venezuela, you've even taken over their assets. And given it to a guy who's not even in government. They've imposed so many sanctions on Russian companies, particularly state-owned Russian companies that are in the energy industry. Some of them can't even, companies such as Gazprom and Rosneft can't even use the banking system. So how on earth do you expect them to supply gas to you? I mean, ask yourself, if I've imposed sanctions on Starr Radio, how do I expect them to play my adverts as a company? I don't understand. I mean, a lot of Russian politicians, the sanctions are, I think you discussed this on your show. The sanctions are all, so many sanctions, it's almost impossible for some of them to even keep up with the levels of sanctions. And in the cases of some financial institutions, they've just decided that, you know what, we can't have compliance officers on a daily basis, literally chasing up this level of sanctions. Some of them have just decided that we're not going to do business with these institutions anymore. And it's not only Russia. You have sanctions on Iran, a major producer of oil and gas. You've destroyed Libya, a major producer of oil and gas, particularly for southern European countries.
Same
What else do you
to
expect?
Venezuela.
Venezuela as well. Yeah.
What else? What else do you expect? Because all of these countries, they also rely on these natural resources to finance their economies. So if they didn't have these sanctions, they would have released more onto the market, and then basic factors of demand and supply will kick into effect, and they will reduce the rising cost. There will always be a rising cost of energy, particularly coming to the winter, but in Europe or the northern hemisphere, so to speak. But if you impose a lot of sanctions on some of these countries, some of these countries, it's almost impossible to have any kind of normal business transactions with some of these countries at the moment. So what really do they expect the Russians to do at the moment? And in fact, up until recently, when the Russians decided to construct a pipeline from Russia all the way to Germany, they had the Americans, I think North something. The name has just escaped me. But they constructed a new pipeline. I don't think they really started. It's fully operational now. But there have been sanctions that have been imposed on any kind of company that is trying to be part of that construction project. Right? And what really do you expect the Russians to do at the moment? If they want this issue to be resolved, leave the sanctions. It's as simple as that. Leave the sanctions.
Now you're gonna get the money to take to offset. I mean the negative impact of the sanctions. I mean,
what do you expect them to do? What do you expect Gazprom, for instance, to do? Because of the issues with Russia and Ukraine, a whole lot of sanctions have been imposed on Russia. And in fact, at the moment, Russia is not even looking up to selling a lot of its gas resources to Europe. It's now looking somewhere else. It's looking to countries such as China and India. Yes, it has existing gas pipelines that are going to places like Turkey. I think it's Nord Stream 2. The name has come back to me now. Nord Stream 2. That's the second gas pipeline that they are building from Russia right all the way to Germany. To supply to many other countries in Europe. But there are also the sanctions that have been imposed on the Russians. So I don't really know what they expect them to do. Just pump gas, and where do they get their money from? Who pays for the gas? How do they do the financial transactions? Are they going to carry the money on, back of, Siberian camels and send it to Russia? They can't use them.
Yeah, they can't. I don't know how they're going to be, but they might have to ease some of the sanctions to get them to.
Some of these people, Andrew Ma, do they even think critically before they host these shows?
Now, I was looking at the poster of the ambassador, Russian ambassador, and he's like, when somebody is like, I don't give a monkeys or whatever you guys are going to do.
Because he's just talking gibberish to the Russian ambassador. He's frankly talking gibberish. It's just like, people complaining about limited supply of ounces of gold on the international market. But if you impose sanctions on countries like Ghana, you impose sanctions on countries like South Africa, you impose sanctions on countries such as Russia, major gold producers in the world, and you expect gold, supply on the international market to go up. No, it's not going to happen. I mean, Iran, for instance, cannot even sell its oil at the moment. It can barely sell any of its gas resources to countries in the West because it's got all sorts of sanctions on it. Right? I think with the exception of Qatar, that happens to be a major gas exporter, Algeria. That is another major gas exporter. The Saudis export a bit of gas. That Saudi is more crude oil and dirty crude rather than gas. I mean, most of the major. Well, okay, Norway also has a bit, but Norway is not a major exporter of gas, more of oil than gas, and Norway also has its own demands anyway because it's a very cold country and they will need that, and they have this fraternal relationship with most of the Scandinavian countries, so they will listen to them, and they've already built the infrastructure for that, so it's much easier to supply these countries, particularly in the Nordic regions. But then it's not also very easy to supply gas from some of the Nordic regions because of the cold weather. When it's cold, it becomes difficult to get gas out of the ground, and you have to use expensive technology and all the rest of it. But the countries that can easily supply gas to Europe, take a country like Libya, you've destroyed it. You know, Algeria also has its own internal problems and political problems, which means that it's not so much a stable country. It has some sort of pseudo military political arrangement for understandable reasons because of the difficulties Algeria went through in the 1990s when a certain political party won elections but they were not allowed to govern. So Algeria has its own problems. A country that seems to be a major supplier of gas to Europe, the European Union has decided to impose all sorts of sanctions on it. So what really do they expect the Russians to do? I mean, if you can give me an explanation, fine. But I can't see what they expect the Russians to do, because they have all sorts of. I mean, we talked about this on your show before. They have all sorts of sanctions on them. I mean, they can't. The Russians can barely use the international financial system at the moment. And that's the reason why they do increasing trade with China, because they can use an alternative system of payments over there. They can't use the international SWIFT payment and all the rest of it. So I really do not know what they want the Russians to do. Most Western companies have decided that because they don't want to face the wrath of the United States of America, they decided, well, we're not going to do business with the Russians. We'll look somewhere else, because if we do business with the Russians, we'll face American sanctions. So we'll walk away. So, I mean, you hear of these fines from the Fed in America and the American government and Security Exchange Commission of officials imposing sanctions on sometimes UK banks and so on and so forth doing business with some of these countries that they've imposed sanctions on. So these companies, for justifiable reasons, have decided to look away from some of these countries such as Iran, countries such as Russia, and so on and so forth. Now that you want gas from them, you are expecting them for them to break their sanctions? They have not imposed sanctions upon themselves. You have imposed the sanctions on yourselves and your companies and the EU. So it's up to the EU, it's up to the British government, it's up to these countries that think they want Russian gas to decide whether these sanctions are worth being imposed on themselves, or whether they can impose the sanctions when they don't need the products from the Russians, but when they need products from the Russians, then they leave the sanctions. It's up to them. The ball is in their court, as they say.
Well, listeners, Star Radio UK, Felix all the way in Aberdeen, bringing his take on the issue that we are discussing, looking at the sanctions that have been, put on Russia and the fact that energy prices seems to be rocketing. He said that, well, we know that every winter we have gases price.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a
but the way that this is gone, I mean, is quite a worrying situation. What do you think about it? But let's look at this. You're talking about the fact that environmental pollution. I mean, during the discussion yesterday, they were of the view. Andrew Ma was asking that has the Russians now come out with maybe another system or where they don't pollution is minimized. Okay, and the ambassador says that, well, they said they have a new plant or something. I think it might be the one that the Nord Stream 2 that you were talking about. That one has got a more refined way of getting those gases to us. But the question is, this COP, is it COP 19 or 26 or whatever conference that they are coming, going to happen in Scotland next month? The Russians say they are not. Putin has not said that he's going to come. It looks like he's not going to come. But then we have the Chinese leader who is also not coming. But they are one of the most pollutants when it comes to the atmosphere.
Actually, why should they come? Look.
No, it's not true. They are not the most pollutants. They don't
who are the pollutants?
No, don't go there. Look, we hear these arguments all the time. Look, take the average Chinese. Yes, maybe over the last 20, 30 years, the Chinese they've been the major, perhaps, let's say, the manufacturing center of the world.
Yeah.
You can make the argument that the Chinese are polluting. But how much pollution comes from Russia? I mean, it's a cold country. Most of the time, it's cold. Most of the time, you're all indoors. A lot of people look, the strength of Russian economy is largely its military technology, satellite technology, certain level of industrial capacity. But if you take the average CO2 emission by the average Russian, does not come anywhere to what the average American does. It may be the case that over the last 20, 30 years, the Chinese have caught up because of the level of industrialization that they've gone to, and the type of industrialization, heavy, dirty, labor intensive to some extent kind of industrialization. So maybe they've also gone up there. But if you look at it historically, we can put the blame on them. The environmental pollution we have now, the issues about ozone layer depletion now, has not been caused by the Chinese. This is something that is historical. That's been going on for many years. If you want to throw accusations at them, fine, we can go ahead and throw accusations at them. It's just like somebody accusing African countries of bushfires and polluting the environment. But what is the average, CO2 emission by the per capita of the average African? It's largely insignificant. Look, when I lived in, I bet you were also in the same situation. When you and I live in Africa, how many times did you even ride in a car per week? Largely insignificant.
It's on Sundays when we go to church, or maybe when I was going far.
How many cars in
there weren't enough cars at the time.
But that is largely for a very few privileged class. Most people in Africa, when they are going to church on Sunday, they walk. So look, historically, it's been the Western world and North America that have led the way in terms of industrialization, and they've done well. It served them well. But there's a price to it, which is the environmental pollution we are all having to live with. Well, fortunately, over the last maybe 20, 25 years, they've come to that realization. They've tried to change the type of industrialization that they've taken. They've tried to clean their rivers and so on and so forth. We've all seen that. If you live in this country, you see and you speak to people who are of a certain age, they will tell you that the river bodies have become cleaner than they were maybe 15, 20 years ago. Of course, the Chinese have decided they want to go a certain path in terms of their development and trying to eliminate poverty and absolute poverty and so on and so forth. So they've also taken to a certain kind of economic model that counts with significant levels of environmental pollution. But look, it's difficult for us to blame them because what they are doing, others have done the same. So why are we trying to blame them? The problem is there's an antagonistic approach towards the whole of this, right? And why would Xi Jinping travel all the way from Beijing and come here and
causing more pollution,
a cluster of people who will speak to him in a way he doesn't like.
I mean,
who will look down on him. I mean, you just pick any newspaper in this country. See the way they speak about the Russian president, whether you like the man or not. I mean, some even call him a murderer. Why would he want to come here? For what?
I wouldn't come, Archie. I mean, that's the truth.
I mean, why would he want to come here? He doesn't need the medical services in this country. He's not flying his children to come and see medical attention. He doesn't come to King's Hospital in London for medical treatment. He flies an aircraft built by his own country. He doesn't hire aircraft from Farnborough and berth in the air at 33,000 feet above sea level. So why would he want to come here? And most of his entourage are under sanctions anyway.
Anyway, that's true.
Yes,
There'll be a special waiver for them to come in.
Yeah.
well,
you can't trust them.
Well, you may want to think so, but as you probably will know, most of his entourage, they've imposed sanctions on them.
Yeah.
Who is he going to travel with to come here anyway? The people he has to decide who he wants to travel with. Now you have decided that you're going to impose sanctions on most of his cronies or the people he runs government with. So who really is he going to come here with, and what are they going to decide on anyway to change the course of the state of the world at the moment in terms of the environment? Whatever there is to be decided, he can talk to them from Moscow if he has to talk to them, or from the Kremlin. But the thing is, they have very little respect for these individuals, particularly Xi Jinping and Vladimir.
Putin. Yeah.
So why would Xi and Vladimir come here? I mean, they haven't, even in diplomatic circles, they haven't shown any respect to these people.
But they are forced to be reckoned with as well.
Yes. Yeah. Why would you actually go to Frank's house if Frank's wife is, or partner, or children, or family are constantly insulting you in public?
Yeah. Interesting.
Why would you want to go there, even if it's for Christmas dinner? Would you go? You find some excuse and not show up.
You swallow one, and then you have two insults.
Look, I wouldn't mind if it had been maybe an event in Germany under Merkel. He probably would go because he seems to have a very good relationship with Angela Merkel.
Yeah.
Right. Just 1 second. I may have to call you back.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's quite interesting. I'm looking at the pollution index, and we have the Chinese who are leading. Looking at for 2021, they are above. I call it about 77 or 78 thereabout. Then it's followed by Russia, who is about, call it 60 thereabout, and then Italy. I mean, those are the top.
It's because of their industries. And actually, at the end of the day, like Felix was saying, development goes through stage, industrialization goes through stage. Thank God. I mean, if you look at the industries that used to, that were in this country, let's take a typical example. Recently, we see Dyson, offshoring his industry to Singapore, and therefore, what is he doing?
Causing pollution there,
taking pollution there. And we also do what? Buy them over here. So at the end of the day, we have succeeded in shipping all, but a few heavy industries outside. Thinking that we will focus on taking the money, financial hub, make England or make the UK the financial hub of the world, because printing money and digital money does not basically cost that. Even some of those servers are seen being housed in Nordic countries and Russia, where the temperature, the cool environment. Actually, in my view, I do always agree that, look, we need to take action towards environment. It's something that is a must for all of us. But you see, we need to do it at pace that are not the same or uniform across board. When we were recycling bottled, although out of true necessity, because we didn't have money to be paying for bottles, and the companies in Africa were not ABL, for instance, NBL, Nigeria Brewery Limited, and others were not in going to be producing more bottles. They saw it as a very expensive venture, and therefore we prefer to wash the bottles and recycle them. No one was giving us credit for what we were doing. The Europe and the UK were concentrated on easy accessibility to those booze and drinks, and therefore you see Ireland, the Guinness Ireland championing bottle Guinness, right? Championing a canned Guinness. We went to this thing, bottle, but they went to canned Guinness. Coca-Cola, since when? They were championing canned Coca-Cola and plastic bottle Coca-Colas, whilst we were dealing with what? Bottled ceramic, and we were recycling them. At that point, they thought it was rubbish. And even today, most of those things, plastics that they bought, they get them from China. And if they say, okay, if China shut some of its operations down today, those same industries that are causing some of this pollution, the West will come to a halt. the West will come to a halt.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
This morning we're being told by one of the big industrial players in the shipping industry that the problem they are facing today is going to last of about 18 months.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So on one hand we are saying, okay, you know what? You're doing this, but we are the direct beneficiaries of that.
The same thing. Yeah.
Although it's not located in our geographical area. Actually, that's part of the hypocrisy that we talk about. So I think, like Felix rightly put it, the posture of the West, Britain, America, in trying to say or show that, okay, we are the best, we are next to God when it comes to everything. Our policies are different, our policies are unique and different, without considering that the interdependency of how the world move now. I think it's not right. Yes, I do 100% agree. Actions will need to be taken, but the kind of actions they want to take must not be the same. We need to encourage Russia. We need to encourage China to be retooling their medicine. When a lot of companies in the UK over here decommission their equipment, why are they still sending it to Africa if we still want to?
You know one thing that Andrew he was saying there, that I really listened to the interview because he was saying that, you know what, when it comes to, he said the Chinese should learn from the British.
Learn what?
I mean,
the
way we've stopped like, because our manufacturing sector it's no more, it's virtually
what are we producing?
We are not producing anything.
Yeah.
So because we are now doing lots of digital stuff, so the Chinese should now do digital stuff. But we know that the Chinese is the factory for the world. Everything that we do.
Can bread be digital? Can you certify yourself with digital
maybe
bread?
now we have to be living in that world though. I want food. And then it goes into your tummy.
There are certain things that can you bottle Coca-Cola in digits? You know, the liquid Coca-Cola, are you going to put it in digits?
How do you eat? Then you have to digitize yourself, and then
that is it. All they are trying to say is that a few people will control the world. All of us will be exterminated, and then we'll have digital robots.
Yeah.
But interestingly, yesterday, I watched a movie called Run Down Wrong. Run Down Wrong is a boat, a boat that developed to befriend lonely kids.
Okay.
And how, I mean, basically turning the world into a digital friendship world. And what we probably, that's why they want us to move to, that all of us now become digital boats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're not going to eat pig. Right? That's the only way.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to drink Coke.
Yeah.
They're not complaining about how they're going to ship their piggery and pig meat to China, and they don't know what to do. How do they package it? In digits?
Maybe we have to do it.
Why are they not shipping the pigs
sending it through Wi-Fi?
Through Wi-Fi. Why are they not doing that? So that comes at the other end as digits.
The code 3D.
3D. But at the end of the day, 3D was, when you proceed 3D, the physical thing that you have, it's not digits.
Yeah.
Codes might have produced it,
Yeah.
but the physical things that you have something that has matter.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here?
Well, maybe all the leaders are confused. That's why they wanted to meet. But
actually, some of the talks are political talks. I mean, they just to wipe up, or they want to wind up, or probably play up what they call the political domestic sentiment. It's just like someone telling you, look, let's all be vegetarians. And I ask yourself, hello,
if you like to eat your vegetable, continue to eat your vegetable, leave me alone.
At the end of the day, it's good to eat vegetables. It's good for your body, it's good for your tummy. But at the end of the day, where does democracy stops? Where you have the choice to decide what you
when
eat.
it comes to the food that you eat, is autocracy.
I mean, you get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you have a choice to eat plantain. You have a choice to eat what you want to eat. Part of democracy, you make choice. But when it comes to food, you don't want me to go and eat goat just because Caucasians or British don't eat goat meat. Oh, really? You eat for rubber?
Yeah.
Okay, so a delicacy in my village. You do not want
goat head.
Well, tell a Nigerian to use goat head for rubber, and you see what they will do to you.
Okay, listeners. It is Starr Radio UK. I think we're going to bring the first part of the discussion to a close and prepare for Linda to come on. But there was one. Okay, while we wait for Linda, the former president of Ghana, John Mahama, has told the NDC executives not to stand in the way of anyone seeking to contest in the primaries of the party ahead of the 2024 election. According to him, NDC is a democratic party and must therefore be open to all who feel competent enough to lead. Now, from next year, we, the NDC, will begin our branch constituency, regional and national elections, and that's what he's saying there, and it is in reference to your man.
What they call Dr. Dufour.
Dr. Dufour.
I 100% agree with John Mahama on this, that, look, democracy, like I said, everybody must partake. They should all be given opportunity, and that's what democracy is about. NDC must not see a party, must not see the party as belonging to what do you call it, John Mahama. People have come, people have gone. John Mahama is not going to remain there forever. Although I still will say that if I am an NDC man, I will not vote for Dr. Dufour because one, his age for me, close to 80 years, is a negative. Secondly, I think he's part of the generation that caused us pain as the youth. We have, for instance, kind of Orienta today saying that what do you call it? The youth, the public sector is full. I agree, the public sector is full. That government cannot create job for them. But actually, these are the same people who told us that, look, a government was incompetent because they couldn't create job for the unemployment. They founded Unemployment Graduate Association. The most insulting aspect of it, actually, you have the likes of Osafo Mafo, who is 84. You have contractors that are retirees that have been contracted to work in the public sector and feed on the taxpayers' money. Osafo Mafo, who has money, has fed on the taxpayer for years, has been able to place his children in the public sector. Let's just set an example. All those on contract after having retired and are making so much money should be weeded out of the public sector to go and open factories. They should go and establish business. How will you tell a young man who has nothing in their pocket? I think the job woman is coming. She will tell us that on a balance of probability, who is more positioned to open up a company? Is it someone,
the resourced person,
or a poor graduate?
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'll bring the time now to 12:48. And let me say thank you very much to Mr. Frank Davis for that wonderful input. But it's now time for the one and only Linda Pallien, all the way from Cyprus, who is going to bring you Career 101. And let me say, Linda, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, doing very well. And you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
Great. What hairdo have you done today? And what is the name? Well, we learn from you. I might try to do something like that, with this my hair.
Is it atekua we call it? Yeah, what they do really.
Tekua.
Yeah.
You see, she's lost.
Some of it.
Okay. Nice to have you once again. Yes. So, what are we looking at today?
Today we're looking at leadership and followership.
Leadership and followership.
In terms of career.
Okay.
And it's very topical because you've been discussing on the show whether certain countries that you should be a vegetarian because the West says you should be a vegetarian.
Interesting. Leadership and followership when it comes to career. Now, interestingly, let me ask you one question. Can everybody be a leader?
That is exactly what we're exploring today. Should everybody be a leader?
Should.
Can they? Yes, you can. Should you? Is a totally different question.
Okay. Interesting. Listeners, just stay by. Don't you go away. You want to know, by the end of the program, be answering the question or get the answer for that question, whether you, listening to us, can be a leader. And would you be a good one? Starr Radio UK. Over to you, Linda.
Fantastic. So this discussion has come about because it's becoming increasingly popular for everyone to be a leader, and when I talk about leadership, I'm including influencer, being an influencer. It's been trending for the last 10 years since we had the internet. Everybody wants to be the person that is this super thought leader, and we've normalized following. Before the internet, like in the last 20 years, when we talked about followers and disciples, we were talking about cults and Christianity and this, the likes of Jesus and Socrates, people that were rallied together behind an ideology. Now everyone has an account, and your self-worth and your how much you think you're worth in terms of the value, how much you're paid, is correlated to how many followers you have or who you're following. We've normalized this thing, and the question is it good? Is it good for us? Does everybody have to? And if everybody's leading, who's following?
Everybody will be dishing out the instructions. Nobody will be doing it.
In one space, you know that there is some sort of hierarchy, and it brings order so that you know where the chain of command is, who to go to, who to escalate things to. But in a world where everyone wants to have their own thing, everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, everybody wants to be a leader, too many people are fighting for supervisory positions at the moment. I remember I was working within a company where even though everyone was doing the same job, on different days a different person will get allocated to be a leader, supervisor for the day, and the sort of ego that went with that.
Ooh, I'm the leader today. You better listen to me, or else.
Everybody gets the same salary, but because you're the supervisor for today, everyone else is beneath you. And the rise of this has a multitude of effects on our careers. HR professionals are now having to modify job titles to accommodate to this. So even when someone's in an assistant position, they're now the office manager, and no offense to office managers, but sometimes we're modifying this to account for self-esteem.
Okay.
Subtitles. And again, it could be positive for them, but at the same time, then it creates this disparity of salaries and wages and being proportionate to what the value of the work that you're putting in. So whereas it's good for a lot of people to strive to be leaders, should everybody be a leader? I think it's a question that we need to answer for ourselves. What is the main goal of being a leader? A leader's job is to inspire others, not to control other people, but to inspire other people to achieve success beyond what they thought was possible. So you can start with asking yourself, is that something I want to do? I'm willing to give up the food on my plate for other people, but my time, my energy, my money, my livelihood for other people. And before we even talk about that, there's different types of leadership. Because the more favored in our society is servant leadership. But you can definitely be an autocratic leader where it's dictatorship. You can also be a laissez-faire leader where you don't care, you've been appointed, and it's transactional and it's a title, but you don't actually employ people. And there's the participative leadership, which is servant leadership, where you're really involved and you're looking to develop the people with you. Archie, can you hear me? I'm getting some feedback.
Yes, well, we can hear you. It seems that your voice seems to be breaking a bit, but we can still hear you. So go on. You go on, and let's see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to summarize, we're talking about the three types of leadership: autocratic, laissez-faire, and participative. And whether you should strive to be a leader. I think that question should be answered by each individual based on what your goal is.
Okay.
And in reality, creating something that is of value, that is not selfish.
Okay.
Leadership really comes from wanting to do something that goes beyond, wanting to make a change, going for a cause, going beyond the self. That's what to do. So I think within my company, I really want to make people understand that between book A and book B, our product is the best.
Okay.
And I want to show that I genuinely want to help other people. Then it's worth becoming a leader for, because you want to push this agenda and you care about it enough to be able to give out whatever it takes to make sure that people are. But having said that, there's nothing wrong with being a follower. Not everybody can be a leader. Not everybody should be a leader. You can be a follower, but a really good follower. Being a follower, again, shouldn't be the passive
follower.
Followership that we think it is. Right now social media has made it so that you click the follow button and
you are following.
You don't have to engage anymore, and that's it. You just serve your support and you're adding to the number. But as the saying goes, everything you do, you have to do it properly. Being a follower means I identify with this cause.
That's right. Okay. I think the last bit, what you said, the last bit, I didn't get you. So can you reiterate, please?
Yes. So being a follower is identifying with a particular cause that you're particularly interested in. It doesn't mean that you need to start your own, but if you're identifying with it, being active and participating in whatever that cause is, to be able to be congruent and show everyone that this is what I believe in, to take a firm stance and to do something actively towards that cause, rather than either being passive or starting
active participant. I like that. But listen to Starr Radio UK Career 101 with HRH Linda Pallien all the way in Cyprus, coming your way every Monday at 12:45 to bring you Career 101. If you have any information, you have any lapses, or you're having a challenge when it comes to your career front, don't you worry at all. We will make sure she sees to address that for you. She is my cheerleader. She can be your cheerleader as well. But today we are looking at leadership and followership in your career. Leadership and followership. I want to say fellow. No, follow. So, okay. But we're talking about active participant, not just somebody who is going to be a passive one. But those of you who are religious, let me put it that way. If you read Habakkuk chapter 2, it is there. It's there. It says that the one who is going to be a leader should make the vision very clear. And those who see it, they decide, okay, I ascribe to this particular plan, and I will want to be part of it. And you get in there and you work. You make sure that we all together achieve that aim. But the question here that I wanted to put across to you quickly is, we talk about temperaments. Okay, there are some temperaments that automatically make somebody a leader. You see them being very, very what do you call them, charismatic. So if can somebody be a leader, or should somebody be a leader when the person is not charismatic? He cannot actually try to, though the people, they might be like weak or maybe disappointed in a way, but you speak and the people just gotta, come on, let's do something. Do you think if somebody's not got that means even their temperament, they don't have that traits in there, would they be able to be leaders?
again, we need to play to our strengths. So if you identify that you're not particularly charismatic, or people don't resonate with you, you can still put someone who's the face that is the charisma, and still pull the strings from behind
the scenes. That's a good one.
We've lost a sense of tribe and teamwork.
Yeah.
One person doesn't have to be all of it, all of the roles. You can have somebody who's the face of the movement, or the whatever the cause is that you've identified that you want to be a part of. And maybe if your talent is more working behind the scenes, creating the promotional materials, or crunching the numbers for it, you can join a movement where you can shine in your own right, but contributing towards that cause, rather than insisting on being the leader and therefore harming the cause because no one resonates with you. And sometimes we see that with the political parties, where they don't like the chosen leader, but they're that way inclined. I remember seeing this in some instances. So sometimes we just have to put people to play towards their strengths.
Yeah.
And if that is how it relates to you. I know a lot of people want to be leaders because you want to use it to build your own professional brand or personal brand. You want to build authority. You want to leverage or to move from, to show seniority and supervisorship and go into management. But you can do that as a follower too. You can do, and I know you know how to do that as a leader, so I want to talk about followership. If you're writing articles, be active.
Linda, it seems that we are losing you. We can't hear you. Hello, Linda.
I'm here now.
Okay. Yes, please go on. We missed the last bit of what you were saying there. Please.
Yes. So if you're actively participating and supporting a cause, you can still use that to build authority, to show that you're part of this cause, to actually, it can be a benefit to you because you have an ally now within this cause. You are active and you're sharing information on LinkedIn or on your feed of whatever the cause is or whatever you believe. So, for example, if it's a reform of doctors and we're doctors that want to use this new drug or new method of working or incorporate naturopathy, and you're sharing articles and encouraging your patients that way, and your practice is different, you don't have to have been the person that invented that or even leading the movement within your region for it, but actively showing engagement in that will stand you in good stead to build yourself as an authority, to align yourself to a particular cause, and therefore to get the promotion, the marketing, and the branding that you deserve, and in the long run command a higher fee, which is what I want to do to get a pay rise or to get a promotion and to get notoriety in that way. So you don't necessarily have to come to the question that we asked at the start. Does everybody can everybody be a leader? Yes. Should everybody be a leader? Not necessarily.
Okay. Interesting. Listeners, Starr Radio UK, HRH Linda Pallien coming your way with Career 101. And today we are asking or looking at leadership and followership in your career. Now, which one are you? Which one are you doing? Are you being a passive one or an active participant? Well, more on that front. We'll go back to Linda for more, and then there are a few areas, things that we'll be putting across during the course of the program. But over to you, Linda.
Fantastic. So with being a leader, there's lots of things that you can do to increase your reach and your followership. Some of it are ethical and some of it are questionable. Depending on, there really is no right or wrong. It depends on where you're standing or whose point of view you're considering. But if you can create your own reality, set yourself as the only true way to be able to do this, and again, that comes from putting out propaganda and a lot of materials that will promote a particular cause, make an increase in demand to be heard, to make it heard. Again, churning out stories, materials, press releases, whatever it is. And now, thanks to all the social media, we can put out our own press release, join any conversation without being necessarily having a following of your own, or being celebrity. And then, of course, using your followers to recruit more people, more like-minded people. Again, that stands instead. And one of the things that is debatable, questionable, is keeping people so busy, keeping your followers so busy that they don't have time for critical things. So you don't want to give them enough time to question what you're doing.
Is that being a good leader?
Exactly, that's questionable, and I say it's good and bad at the same time. I mean, I'll give you an example of either. You have the cult leaders that ask people to move in the desert with them and at times the family members. If you're part of the society, they are the devil, they're whatever it is. You know, they're bad. They're the bad ones. We're the good ones. We're trying to say whatever. So you can isolate people in that way, that you keep them busy enough not to question things. In the same way, we have loyalty cards and loyalty programs that businesses use. If you come to us and you collect these points, and you can get a free sandwich, or you get these loyalty points, get a credit card from this shop, and you shop here all the time, and you get this, and this is a form of it, right? But it's loyalty, but it keeps people not having to make that decision of, well, if I need to buy clothes, because I have a Marks and Spencer's card, I'm going to go to Marks and Spencer. So that's where it's good for the business. It might be good. So again, you have to keep time. As an individual,
Oh, well, listeners, just bear with us. Linda, we've missed the last 30 seconds. We've missed what you were saying there.
This is such a shame. This doesn't happen usually. I think we need to
we'll sort something out, God willing, next week. We'll sort something out, God willing, next week on that. Yeah, so please, what were you saying? Can you reiterate, please?
So I was talking about the good and bad of keeping everybody busy so that they don't have time for critical thoughts. And we spoke about it's bad because you can isolate people, but it's good because you can build loyalty, especially with loyalty cards. It's good for the company because then you get returning customers. It's bad for the consumers because they don't get the freedom of choice. Roped into one place. So again, it's up to you, the individual, to consciously participate in these things or not.
You have to come with a proper propaganda message to get people just thinking along the lines that you want.
Exactly. You really have to understand whether it serves or harms the cause that you want to perpetrate. And the final one, keep them fixated on the current. You know, there's a small payoff here and a small payoff there. So maybe with I have a loyalty card actually.
Oh, okay.
Staring at me, my Cafinera loyalty card.
Okay.
In Cyprus, so with 9 cups of coffee, you get a free coffee, and it's just enough to keep you coming back for more. Shall I go to Starbucks or to the, because not that I'm promoting any of these, but everyday example.
Yeah.
Keeping people fixated on the next payoff, or I need 10 points and I can have a free flight or whatever.
Yeah.
So again, decide if you've got leadership qualities, if you need to be a leader, or if you can be a good follower, and then act accordingly. But there's definitely chaos from either side, and not everybody should have to be a leader. You don't have to be an influencer. You can believe in something, and through your conviction. I mean, Jesus, if we use Jesus, he had 12 disciples. He didn't have to have 6 billion people following him to be relevant.
Yeah. I guess they're only the 12, and then everything they will bring more followers.
So sometimes the depth is better than just the reach for the reach's sake.
Yeah.
And this should encourage everyone who's trying to start a small business and make a difference in a way. If you can do it properly so that you build genuine, loyal followers that want to perpetuate your message, it's infinitely better than amassing passive followers.
There is this book that Frank likes talking about. Small is beautiful. You start from that front. Small is very, very beautiful. I mean, it's controllable. You are able to manage it nicely, and then it blossoms to something very, very good. Listen at Starr Radio UK. HRH Linda Pallien bringing you Career 101, leadership and followership in your career. Which one are you? Are you a follower? Are you a leader? Do you want to be a leader? Should you be a leader? Those are questions that we've asked and tried to answer today for you. But we'll go to her for her closing remarks on that, and then she will tell you those books. Have you got it? Have you got your hands on them? I tell you, they are going like no man's business. People are using it and are benefiting from it. So why don't you also get your hands on it? After all, what? It's a bucket of KFC or something that will buy one for you. What about that? She's going to be telling you more on that. Over to you, Linda.
Fantastic. So again, if you want to progress in your career, or in the business you started, or in the big business you're running, whatever it is, you have to understand that you should work towards your strengths, whether you'll make a good leader or whether you'll make a good follower. But understanding not to pick one for just the sake of it. Understand what's going to help the overall cause that I want to associate myself with. Is if it doesn't exist and you're the best person to create it, then create it. If it does exist, then be the best supporter you can be. Everybody loves good team members, right? And they get recognized because they're great team members, and you can be a key player or a key influencer within a community without necessarily feeling like you need to be a leader, you need to be the influencer by yourself. So understanding where ego comes in is very important. If you want to know more about this, I do share a lot about this, especially in the career books, of how to brand yourself to build the authority you need, whether you're a leader or a follower, and sort of checklist within yourself to identify what your strengths are or what your course is. In the book, How to Career, the first C in the career acronym is course, and course is it's bigger than your why. Your course is the purpose for what you're working towards, and not just for your career but for your life in general. What purpose you've identified you're working towards. So for example, if you're an accountant, I want to help to increase accuracy in whatever I do, and therefore that's my course and the career I've chosen is accountancy that works towards it. So if you want to know more, How to Career is a really good starting book for you. And then of course, if you want to develop yourself and give yourself the promotion, pay rise and credibility that you deserve, then Career Success is a great book for you to be able to deep delve, see where you're leaving money on the table, the bits you're missing in terms of networking, what else you could be doing to increase your brand authority. And then, of course, there's the third book, which is the workbook, and that's a checklist for you to be able to fill in and identify the gaps, and also gift them to a friend as well, someone who's looking to change careers or start on their career journey. And she said these are £20, I think 15, depending on what deals Amazon is making at the moment. They're on Amazon, they're Book Depository, they're Waterstones online. Get your hands on one of these. If you just Google Linda Pallien and then the career books, you'll be able to get your hand on one of them. 15 euros with a bucket of KFC and some change. And this will change your life.
Wow. Linda, let me say another wonderful thank you to you. But again, you've not put your contact details. Can you do that for us, please?
Absolutely. Definitely get in touch. LindaPallien.com. Linda Pallien, LindaPallien.com. Or my cheerleader. You can reach me on social media at my cheerleader, which is my cheerleader, but the leader should praise with Linda because it's simple. My cheerleader or Linda Pallien as well on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I would love to hear from you on LinkedIn as well. It's a very underrated platform, and we can do a lot of things through LinkedIn. So definitely contact me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as well. I'll be on there as my cheerleader or at Linda Pallien.
Thank you very, very much. But listeners, this broadcast or this discussion will be available on our podcast in the next, call it 10 minutes just after this program. So please go there and listen to it. But you can also go to the Facebook or the social media platform that we've broadcasted on. Go back and have a listen to or watch of the discussions that we've had, and it will help you a great deal. But let me say, Linda, thank you very much for coming once again.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.
All right, then. Have a wonderful week as well.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye.
Bye. Well, it is HRH Linda Pallien coming your way with Career 101. It is where we bring the program to a close for today. But like I announced earlier on, this afternoon, exactly at 5 o'clock, we should be having the one and only Regina Enima on the On Point show. That is at 5 o'clock, and then to be followed by some music there as well. And then at 10 o'clock, all roads leads to the Conscious Reggae Time, where we'll be having Mr. Dave West in the house as well. So make a date with him or make a date with them on all those programs. But let me say thank you very much to each and every one of you who joined us today. Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, thank you very much for staying on to listen to all that broadcast today. But we are now bringing the program to a close, and until I come your way tomorrow, on my behalf and on behalf of Mr. Frank Davis, Kojo D, Linda, Felix all the way in Aberdeen, and all the wonderful people who joined us, I say have a lovely day. Don't you go away, enjoy this tune, and I'm going to bring you some mixed grill this afternoon. And on that note, I say bye-bye for now. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Living in the world, my brother, living in the world, my sister. But you live in this world, you living in the world, my mama. Some are really go hate you, some are really go love you, and some are really go hate you. Yeah, we don't wanna kanga, we don't wanna know about kanga. But for you the ballet, yeah, we don't wanna go on, yeah, we don't wanna kanga, yeah, we don't wanna kanga.